do I go for the HD look? Get the Clark Kents on, Joel. Change into one of them shirts behind me would be cool. Right, here we go. Let's get some of these people come in. Hi, Adam Pryor. How's it going, mate? Quite a few of you streaming in already quickly. How's it going? Evening. Right, I'll just let a few of you come in and then I'll get my thank yous going before I introduce my amazing guest that I'm sure you're really all here for. Oh. Who shall I watch, you or Boris? He's not on making any more announcements, is he, about the virus? Hello, Ben Rumbold. How's it going? How's it going? All right. I can see loads of you coming in, so I'll get cracking with my thank yous. Hub Gerlins, how you doing from Holland? How's it going, mate? Good to see you on. Right then, people. Let's just get my thank you out of the way before we introduce the guest. Big thank you to the support to Simon Pardo of White Eagle Finance. They give quality financial advice for pensions, mortgages, investments and protection. Check the website out at www.whiteeaglefinance.co.uk. Big thanks to Stefan Everts with his F72 gin and vodka brand. Check all his amazing products out at www.s72gin.com. Big thanks to Tom Brown of Moto Extreme Motorcycle Shop in Marshfield. Great little setup down there. And his Moto Park 46 practice track off the M4 at the Bath Junction. Check them out for all your off-road needs, including the new 2021 Kawasaki's at www.motoextreme.co.uk, and you can phone them on 01 225 89 227. And also thanks to James Burfield of Even Strokes online motocross shop. Check these guys out at www.evenstrokes.com, and they're on all social medias, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, so check those guys out. Right then, people, I can see you're all on, nearly 100 live online already. You must be interested in this amazing guest, eh? Right then. Let's get the countdown going then and then bring the man on. Here we go. Right, people. I've got no other than 5 times World Motocross Champion, 6 times Belgian Motocross National Champion, Belgium Sportsman of the Year, 57 career GP victories to his name, 2 Motocross the Nations winning team rider for Belgium, also the Belgian Motocross the Nations manager of 11 years, including leading them to victory as a manager, and he's also now racing sports director for KTM. It is no other than Mr. Joel Smets. How's it going, Joel?
Yeah, not too bad. Good evening, everybody.
How's it going? Awesome to have you on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's after a long and exhausting season. It was time to sit back and relax a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, mate. It went very well, though, didn't it?
Well, let's say, of course, we won another championship in the MX2 class, but yeah, we had a few setbacks also. We had in MX2, we had René Over getting injured quite soon after the restart of the season with a serious arm injury, broken upper arm. Then, of course, we all know about what happened to Jeffrey. Also, actually, Tony wasn't really at full strength all year, struggling with his knee all year long. And then, of course, we were quite unlucky also with Jorge getting tested positive, because at that stage, he was really coming up strong. And even if he was like something 50 points behind Timmy, I really still believed he had a good shot at the championship, because he was coming up strong and he would have kept the pressure on. And we've seen also in MX2 class, like if you can keep the pressure on, your opponent might start making mistakes and then points counting down quickly, So so if you say, we did well, of course we did well. We were really extremely happy with Tom Vial winning the championship, but the 4 other riders actually could have been better.
Could have been better. Obviously, like Jeffrey at the time when he got injured, he was leading by quite a bit as well. He would have been odds-on favourite to have probably won another title.
Yeah, but that's his career story. It's all or nothing.
Yeah,
that's a bit sad. And we've been trying to help him with that, but it's a bit of a personal thing, and uh, he prefers to do it his way. But yeah, it's not always working, as we've noticed.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, be all good for him for next season to make a challenge. How is he anyway?
No, he's doing well. He's doing well. Like that neck injury is really a thing of the past. I think, as you all know, he didn't need a surgery on the neck, so it was a, yeah, let's call it a nice crack. Nothing too bad. So that healed quite well. Already after 2-3 weeks, he felt way better with that once the muscle aches and stuff had gone. Okay, and then at the same time, since he had to do rehab and wait anyway, we decided to have his foot fixed, because there was still some like scar tissue and stuff like that from that bad operation which he had the year before. So that's all, should all be cleaned up and stuff. And yeah, it's a matter of few weeks, let's say, before he's going to be back on the bike. So yeah, of course, he's quite happy now and looking forward to that.
I was going to get into that a bit later, but as we've sort of mentioned it a bit about your role, obviously being racing sports director for KTM, what does that actually involve for you, and what is your daily job with that, and how does
Yeah.
that work?
Well, you can compare it like with what a sports director does in cycling. I don't know if a lot of our fans are into cycling a little bit, but that means that I'm responsible for the sports side. So I'm not responsible for testing the bikes, for setting up the bikes. Of course, with my experience, I'm always present at the bike tests and stuff like that. But that's not my main occupation. My main occupation is to make, for instance, to make the year plan, to make the month plans, to make the day plan, the week plans, to make the day plans. So to follow up the riders on the training side, as well physically for some riders, and for sure riding wise, to advise them with racing tactics and stuff like that, strategy, planning the training camps, all that sort of stuff, coaching them at the races, and I'm also, let's say, responsible for for our racing workshop facility in Belgium, because, as you probably might know, of course, KTM is Austrian, everybody knows, but our team is basically put together of two sister teams, let's say. We have the Italian side with Claudio and with Tony and Jorge. They have their base in Rome. On the other side, we have what we call Team Austria, with Jeffrey Hofer and Vial, and we are based with our training facility in Belgium, and that's where I have my office, and where I'm spending my days. If not at the track, because most of the time it's or at the track or in the gym or on the bicycle or whatever.
So still very busy, Joel. And do you enjoy the role?
Yeah, like when you retire from racing, it takes a while to kind of accept that when the gate drops, that you don't have to turn to twitch the throttle anymore. So, but that in my case, that needed some time. It's not easy when that has been your whole life, and I still felt physically really fit, and I had a bit of a hard time to let's say, to accept that mentally. The fire wasn't there anymore, I stepped away a little bit, from, not completely, but a little bit. I took time to set up a structure for Team Belgium at the federation. But that's a volunteer job. but at least it kept me somehow involved with the business. And then also at the same time, I founded within the federation also a project to educate younger riders, talented riders, from which Jago Geerts now is one of the riders of our youth program. Liam Evers is also part of our youth program. Okay, we're a small country and we don't produce that many champions anymore as we did in the past, but we have a pair of twins coming up, two young kids, 13-year-old or 14 soon, that we will hear from, I think, in the coming years. So that's what I did actually, basically the first few years after my career. And then, so I could, by doing that, I could get like slowly into that coaching and training routine, let's say, and gain some experience and stuff like that. Because it's not because you've been a champion yourself that you're at the same time immediately the best coach, you know. But so I took my time to start at the bottom step and go from there. And now I'm really happy with where I am and the way I can work with the boys and stuff like that, and with the results that we're bringing in. So yeah, if you ask like, do you like what you're doing? Yeah, for sure I do.
That's good to hear, Joel. I'll just say a few comments that are people coming in with a few nice comments. One person has put, there's no name on this, but I named my son Joel with Joel Smets in mind.
All right.
Adam Pryor said, proper four-stroke rider. Ben Rumbold said, whoa, this is so cool. Mark Irwin put, a legend. He also knew how to have a good time.
Exactly.
Exactly. Wes Carlisle's put, the Flemish Lion.
Yeah.
I can mind watching him on a big four-stroke in '95. What a great rider. Hub Gerlins from Holland. What did he just put there? He put, oh, where's it gone? Oh, do you owe your first name to the legend Joel Robert?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Motocross has always been very popular in Belgium, because we've always been that in Central Europe. We have always had that geographic advantage, you know, like having the British riders coming over back in the days with Dave Nicol and stuff like that. These guys, and then with the Scandinavian riders having their base also in Belgium. Those days, those southern riders didn't come over too much because they were scared of the cold and the rain. But we always had very good level of racing, even national races. And so the sport was, apart from together with soccer and cycling and motocross, was really popular. And in the area where I live, we had the family of Geboers with Sylvain, of course. Being the leader of the gang, let's say, and then later on the youngest kid with Eric. But that, how should I say, that brought a lot of attention in our area to the sport. And my parents were really fans of those battles between Joel Robert and Torsten Hallman, but then later on also with Sylvain, who was almost a neighbor, let's say. And luckily, or I don't know, by coincidence, maybe more, Joel Robert won the championship the year that I was born. And if Sylvain would have won it, maybe my first name would have been Sylvain.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. That's pretty cool. How did you actually get into motocross yourself, Joel? And what's your earliest memory of the sport? And sort of what sort of age were you on a bike? I think you were quite old, weren't you?
Yeah, when I was on a bike, that's easy to remember because that's not such a long time ago. I was 17. I was 17 when I got my first my own bike and my first license. But yeah, I've been, for some reason, and don't that question I can't answer why, but for as long as I can remember, I've been really interested and how do you call it, intrigued by motocross. From my mom always says like that my first words were not mom or dad or something, but they were like brum brum brum. So and I don't know where that comes from because my father hasn't been an active racer himself. Okay, my family on both sides, mother and father, were sports lovers, let's say. They liked soccer, they liked cycling, they liked motocross, really all round. But for me, that was me too. I've played a lot. I've played for many years soccer in competition. I've raced BMX because I didn't have a motocross bike, so the next best thing was a BMX. So lots of sports, but for me, always motocross was standing out by far. That was the thing. That was the thing I wanted to do. That was my cup of tea.
Nice. I've got someone here. There's no name on this. They've not registered the thing, but it says, "Hey Joel, you said at Matterley MXGP, if Tom won the title, you would do a lap at the VMX Nations." So maybe is it Dave King? I'm not sure who's wrote that.
I'm
Might
afraid
be.
so.
Might be. Yeah.
I'm afraid, Dave. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah. I've promised him for years that someday I would like to come over, because that event is just a great event.
Yeah.
And that brings back a lot of old memories and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I'm not. I would like to do a few laps on my Useberg on that. But yeah, thanks to our big friend Giuseppe, our calendar is so full, and there is very little room for things like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. But never say never.
Never say never in the future. Someone's asking about, are you Ben Rumbold is asking us about, are you running 3 250s next year, or two, or
No, we do 3.
okay.
So
No, that's
Guadagnini will work out, since
Yeah.
he's Italian. Of course, that's very logical. He
Yeah.
will work out from Claudio's tent,
Okay.
together with Prado and Tony. And on the Austrian side of the tent, we will have still Hofer and Vial, but Guadagnini will be on identically machinery.
Right, okay, that answers that for you then, Ben. Someone's also put no name on this. I remember Joel putting on a show at Farley and having fun with Merv Asteen to get the home crowd going. Be good to see him back there.
Yeah, I think, as far as I can remember, I've raced only once at Farley, because they used to have the 500 GPs actually in the 80s, and my first year in the GPs was in the 90 in 500, and that was straight away at Hoxton. So, and then later on, I heard a lot of stories, and I saw a lot of videos, of course, from the heroic fights with Noisy and Torp and Job Day and the guys, and that track looked just fantastic to me. With all the bumps and stuff, and the technical aspects. But it took me till the end of the 90s, I think, to a Shell sponsored event or something.
Oh yeah, Shell, yeah.
I did 2 or 3 events in England that year. I think it was some series next to the British Championship or something, and it was definitely good fun. We had 3 races, and one of them was at Farley. So that was I had to go there, because that's part of motocross history. If I would have never ridden that track, I would have felt sad.
Talking about you and Merv the Swerve, I got a photo there. Look.
Oh, yeah, it might have been, but that's, I think, a GP.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that must have been a GP, I think. Yeah.
Did you get part of this Merv the Swerve treatment, Joel?
Merv the Swerve. What the treatment was that about?
Well, apparently a lot of the riders said he was very hard to pass, so I presume that's where the Swerve.
Yeah. Wow. Well, back in those days, all those guys were scared when they heard the big bumper behind them.
I bet they were. Don't blame them.
They often thought I was really close if I still was a few seconds behind. Apparently, because of the noise. So by the time I got really behind them, they were moving out of the way.
I saw this earlier. I thought this was very cool. A picture that I saw earlier.
That's a picture we made a few years ago, like 5 years ago. Maybe even longer already. That's quite a while ago.
Quite young there, don't they?
Yeah. They're really young there. Yeah. No, that's because my son's 24 now, and there he must be 18 or something. I think like 7 years ago, and so Liam must be 9 or something, and then Marnik's son, I think, is barely 5 or something.
That's pretty cool. I like that. All the sons are now doing. Right, let's get into this. Rob Andrews says, "Hi, Joel."
Hey, Rob.
Right, here we go. So we've got someone's asked me what the full list is of the team next year for your team.
As mentioned before, so we have in 250 Hofer and Vial in the Austrian tent. We have Guadagnini in the Italian tent, and in the MX1 class we have Jeffrey in the Austrian tent, and we have Prado and Tony in the Italian tent.
Okay, brilliant. Wes Carlisle on Facebook's like, hi Joel, I've seen quite a few pictures of you with some extreme leg drags in the corners. Did this ever play havoc with your knees?
Um, yeah, well, I have to admit that my knees are not in the best shape possible.
Okay.
But I think that's a problem that more people, sports people, not only motocross people, but also basket players, football, soccer players, whatever. Yeah, but that's not helping. But I started racing at the age of 17, and I had to learn everything myself. Yeah, really self-made man, and so yeah, my style, especially at the beginning, wasn't always the most aesthetic, let's say. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
I've got a hello from Clayton Rowe. Hello from New Zealand. Josh
All
Coppin's
right.
country. Hello from there. We get everywhere, Joel.
Oh, nice.
Ian Chesterman's put, does Joel ever think there could ever be a GP at Namur in the future? Best track I ever went to, and I watched Joel destroy it.
Yeah, we can't go there anymore because, as you say, I destroyed it.
Yeah,
No,
literally.
no, it's yeah, of course. Let's say all lovers of classic motocross or old school motocross, we would just love to go there, and we would all pay and contribute, I think, to make it happen. But unfortunately, um, the world has changed, boys.
Yeah.
We have to accept,
Yeah.
and people can't. I don't know exactly how to say it in English, but
Yeah.
people are jealous. People can't accept somehow anymore that other people are having fun, or they can't accept that other people have other interests or other hobbies and stuff. Oh, but I can tell you, it hurts. I was actually during the lockdown.
Yeah.
I went to see it.
Did you?
I maybe should send you. I made a few images and a few little movies,
Yeah. You'll have to send me
because
some. Yeah.
it was really a long time. I think since I had quit racing, I had never been there anymore. And we cycled, yeah, together with Tom and my son. I wanted to show the boys how motocross used to be.
Yeah.
And so we cycled there from my place, which was like 130 kilometer, 100
Wow.
miles, no, less than 100 miles. We cycled there, and we had a friend going there with the van, so we took the mountain bikes also, and we did a loop on the mountain bike. Really, because yeah, of course I know every tree still,
Yeah.
and every rut and every line and every rock. So yeah, it was like really mixed emotions, to go back there, and to see the Chalet du Monument, and to see the world famous step down in the forest between the fucking big trees, if I explained the boys that I was jumping the leap with my CR 500 30 years ago, with a
Yeah.
with
Whoa.
a yeah with a 45 mil fork instead of a 52,
Yeah.
and things like that. So
Yeah.
they were quite impressed. Also going that uphill, that 5 stairs uphill,
Yeah.
like really next to the fortress, next to the castle, next to a 15-20 meter drop.
Yeah.
If,
Massive.
you,
Yeah.
if you would get off the track, it made me, as I
Scary.
said, mixed emotions. Of course, I relived all the emotions of my career, of having
Yeah.
been there as a spectator. So that's really nice emotions and nice memories. But
Yeah.
then at the same time, you realize that, yeah, that the chance that that's coming back is, yeah, 0.1% or
Yeah.
something, and that's
Yeah.
that's making us all really feel sad. Huh?
Yeah. Very.
I think GP, I don't know. I think a GP for sure will never ever happen anymore, I think. But yeah, sometimes what I'm dreaming of,
Yeah.
if we could do like something like a vet race, like
Yeah.
like
That'd be awesome.
bring back the old stars, and have a one-off, a nice event, and have a nice time. But even that will be very difficult, because there will always be people fighting others. Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah. I've got a question. There's no name on this one, but does he still have his awesome restaurant? He knew his stuff when he was explaining the menu.
Yeah, well,
Still got it?
yeah. We still own it, but we do not run it ourselves anymore. We bought it, and I was running it for a couple of years with my wife. But as I explained at the beginning, when I stepped back from racing, when I retired, I had a bit of time left over, let's say, and started up those projects with the federation. But then when I went full time into motocross again, it was a really hard to combine the two things, I liked it. I think he must have been there probably, because I like to. I'm a social type of guy, and I really like the interaction
Yes,
with the people. So that was nice. But okay, still my heart was in the sport and in the motocross. So I went back to that, and no, we're just renting it out now.
Okay, fair enough. That's cool. Someone's put top job, Liam. Big fan of Joel. Awesome. Michelle Winkler has put a great time in 2010 as I speak with you by Zupin, is it? In Germany, and you give me 2 autographs for my 2 kids. A few people reminiscing. It's quite cool.
All right, yeah.
YouTube, hi Lee. This is great. Many fantastic memories seeing Joel on the 2 strokes and the 4 strokes. Lovely times. Oh, Mr. Graham Noyce has just popped on. But where are you hiding the Jupiler?
Yeah, that's actually a good one. I should have, if I would have known he was there, I for sure would have had the Jupiler just here.
Yeah.
I need wait, Graham. I'll ring my wife.
Here we go.
And ask her.
Yeah, definitely.
Just go on, Lee.
Yeah, no worries.
The Jupiler, yeah, Belgian beer.
He loves it.
Yeah, sure.
I actually went and seen Graham in his own living room, Joel. It was great fun.
Yeah, but it's like you need to race hard and work hard, but also party hard and enjoy life, and
exactly, mate.
And also if you can't release the pressure every now and then, you also can't peak high. So
right, here we go. Right, here we go. Stuart Hare put, hi Joel, the banger for legend. Can you remember what your first thoughts were when you rode the Husaberg for the first time? Did you realistically think you could win a GP on it, let alone a world title?
Well, that's a pretty interesting question, actually. Because I will take you back to my first memory of the 4-stroke. That was I was preparing in the winter of '92. I was preparing for the season '92 on the CR 500, and a friend of mine, a bit older friend, he had bought a Husaberg 500 4-stroke, but he was only on amateur level. And at some stage, I don't know, February, March, before the season, I was training on one of those sand tracks in Holland, and he was doing a few laps as well. And he said, like, "Whoa, hey Joel, this is something. You need to try this one. This is unbelievable." I said, "Yeah. You see, like that piece of steel from Sweden. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure if these guys are there already." But it's old engineers from Husqvarna, and they know how to do it. And okay. I said, well, you know what? At the end of the day, I'll come and see you, and then I can make a lap. But I first want to finish my training. And what happened? I hopped on that bike at the end of the day. The track rough like hell, as it can be on the end of a practice day in Belgium and Holland. And actually straight away, I think the second or the third lap on that bike with standard suspension and stuff like that, I was only 1 second off my best lap time on the CR 500. So.
Wow.
And I mean, you as a rider, you feel it straight away, like I that day I kind of fell in love with the character of the 4-stroke for some reason. That suited me so well.
Nice.
Of course, reliability and stuff was still a problem. But also, I had my deals with my private sponsors. I was still full privateer. I didn't have any support from Honda. But even I was still I had everything prepared. So okay, we did the season, and then somewhere during the season, I got actually that guy. He mentioned to the Husaberg import, "Hey, Joel Smets rode my bike, and he fucking loved it." And he exaggerated a little bit. He said he was straight away more faster on CR500 and stuff. So okay, that noise went to Sweden, to the factory also, and through their importers, and and then suddenly, like middle, like July, August, they came up with an offer to ride their bikes the next year. And as this guy mentions or asks, did you believe that you could win a championship with it? I was speed-wise, power-wise, handling-wise, I was convinced after that first day, somewhere February, March of that year, I was convinced that that bike had the potential to go fast enough to win races and to eventually win championships. Of course, I had my doubts about the reliability. That was something else, and that's also what happened. Actually, straight when I went on the bike in '93, I won my first ever GP on the Husseberg. But I also had a few DNFs, which I think was normal. Was difficult to accept for me because I came from a CR500. You could go to the war with and it would still not break. So no DNFs in 3 years, I think. And then I had a few DNFs, and also the setup of the bike at some stage, it was more or less like enduro linkage and stuff like that. So I broke some swing arms and things. But yeah, speed wise, it was really there, and I was convinced. Otherwise, I would have never re-signed, and I would have not continued. But I had a strong belief. I again, from that first day, I fell in love with the bike, and I have no regrets.
Awesome. Paul Maynard's put a legend, amazing rider, so fast. Ben Piggins put, I saw Joel race Namur 3 times, 92, 94, 99. Was always good for a wheelie past the cafe. He even did it in 99 in the second race with a misfiring bike.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but the thing is, I have been a spectator until I was 17.
Yeah.
So I know what it is like to be a spectator, and I know how it felt when the riders were entertaining us, when they were putting up a fight, and when there is no fight. Like, yeah, you still want to be entertained. That's why you pay your ticket for, and that's, I just love that interaction with
That's very cool.
with the crowd. I really love to keeping them awake.
That's very cool. I like that. I love that, Joe. Michel Winkler, let's put the greatest, what's that? Damp hammer in Germany for the big 4 strokes.
Yeah. That was the beginning. That was the beginning. Like we were all on 2 strokes, and then Jacky Martin's 92 was the first one with Husky, and then straight away I followed in 93. So like 93, 94, 95. We were still the 2 only boys there with the 4 strokes, and then Jacky won the championship in 93, but then it went a little bit downwards. He was a bit older than I was, so I think we can say Jacky and myself also, especially, we've put that 4-stroke back on the map, let's say.
Yeah, definitely. Someone's put get yourself on a sidecar, Joel, but looks like you already have.
Yes. But
brilliant.
I love all types of racing.
Wow.
And the sidecar I definitely loved also. And somewhere beginning of the 90s, I managed to buy I bought a new frame, a Russian sidecar frame. I knew the Belgian importer quite well, bought a frame of them, and then I fetched a used factory 570 KTM engine to be built in that sidecar, and I had it completely pimped like my motocross bike, with all the same graphics and stuff like that. It was it was looking awesome, and with my cousin, that picture what you saw is my cousin. He's my monkey, and we did a few local just races for fun. And even one time I think that picture is made at the Sidecar GP in Neeruderen in Belgium, and that was we were not, for some reason we were not allowed to try to qualify, I think, for the race, but we were allowed to do the support race.
Wow.
together with the non-qualified GP riders. But
That's
yeah,
mad.
we won both motos.
Did you?
Almost one lap ahead. So that was pretty good
Wow.
fun.
Do you think they were a bit worried about you going in with the?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they were. Were they a bit nervous?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I never knew that. Hub Gerlins from Holland here. He's put, Joel, you are a man loyal to your sponsors. How did you convince the factories Husaberg and KTM that you wanted to keep driving with hand wheels from Holland?
Well, yeah. Actually, my son right now, he's preparing for those beach race championships in France, and
Okay.
and he's still on those hand wheels. And
Right.
now it's even the son that has taken over the company. But yeah, I'm loyal when somebody helps me out in difficult times.
Yep.
I will always try to stick with them, and that's what I. It's not only with my sponsors, but at some stage you have to trust people, and you have to try to build something together, and that I do believe that works much better than changing too often, and then you have to get to know each other again, finding each other's strong points, weak points, finding each other's limits again. And I've worked my whole life with the same trainer. I've worked with the same doctor. I've worked with the same physio my whole life, and most of the sponsors I've worked also pretty much my whole career with, and hand wheels is one of them. So yeah, that's just, I think, unfortunately, that's something which has disappeared a little bit in this world. But that's loyalty and respect. But that's two words that are really mean a lot to me.
Some great relationships you made there then, Joel.
Yeah.
John Nichols has put, Joel, what an absolute legend. My boy too has Joel as his middle name after you. Is it true that Joaz still has a bar in Belgium? If it's still open, how often are you there? Would love to visit for a drink.
Well, I explained already. The bar is still there, and I quite often have a snack still there, and drink a coffee. But yeah, I'm not running it myself anymore. So you need to be
everyone mentioned that. I remember that now. The Shell thing you said, it was called the Shell Advance series. I think it was called in the UK. Everyone's been mentioning it in the live.
Yeah, Shell was
Shell Advance something.
Shell Advance. Shell was the main sponsor.
Yeah,
I for sure remember. Yeah.
Quite a few people saying, "What's your thought? What was it like racing with Stefan Everts?"
Well, hang on a second. I'm calling my wife because I want to show. I want to show. I want to show.
Yeah, we want to see Noisy. Yes,
my Jupiler.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ja, Nancy. Staat er in de ijskast nog een Jupiler?
Denk het niet.
Of boten?
Ook niet.
Alleen de stel. Ja, er is hier een Engelsman en die zegt van, hey Joel, waar is een Jupiler? Dus je moet zoek dus even dat je geen Jupiler hebt en aanspakt hem aan de Stella.
Ja, is goed.
Goed. Yo.
Brilliant. Love it.
What was that question?
About Stefan Everts, about racing with Stefan Everts.
Yeah. Well, of course, Stefan has made me lose races, of course. But he has also made me win races. Fighting on a regular base against the best in the world makes you stronger. So I think, so I even dare to say that part of Stefan's success is also because of me. Because even at national races, international races, at the GPs, we've pushed each other to the next level. So I have won some of my championships because of the strength that I got from the fights with him, and the other way around as well, I think. Because in the beginning of our careers, he was in the 250 class, I was in the 500 class. But those days we still had a lot of international races. You remember? So yeah, that's bring on the Jupiler, please.
Here we go. Here it is. Oh, there it is. Beautiful.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Ja, waar. Denk je dat bij ons zo groot is, hè?
4 op 6. So,
That's brilliant. I love it.
cheers, Graham.
Cheers. Love it.
So, no, I think I don't see that as a bad thing. It was good, and it was also the sport lives from its heroes, and from its fights. So that's important. So, like, if you remember 2 years ago when Jeffrey and Tony were fighting for the championship, the third guy was 1 minute behind, because I also remember in Namur 2000. We were talking about Namur as well. In 2003. We were fighting for the GP win in Namur, but we were fighting the likes of Ben Townley, of Josh Coppins, of Mikael Pichon, of Brian Jurgensen, or really all the best riders of that era, But me and Stefan, I think we pulled away almost 1 minute from the third guy, because we were really pushing each other to the limit and to the end, until you puke in your helmet. So
you almost inspired each other, sort of.
Yeah, no, not almost. We did, for sure. We did. I learned from him, and he learned from me. That's clear.
Yeah, very cool. Right, what's Richard Blakemore said? Hi Joel, why didn't Husaberg change the electrics back old design for misfire problems at Hawkstone in 1999 GP?
That's a story. If one of my friends is watching somewhere on Facebook also, because he says he sends me also the Jupiter. How cool is that?
I like that. I love it. See, we're getting everywhere. See, Joel.
Okay, cheers, Paul.
Cheers to you, Paul.
That's of course. Yeah, that's a long story. Yeah, then we need another day, to go through that season. But the main thing was that initially we thought that it was an electric problem, but actually the base of the problem was the new cylinder head. We had for 99 we had a new cylinder head, and when the bike stayed under a certain temperature, it was never a problem. But the cylinder head caused just slightly more heat than the previous one, and just that little bit of more heat, higher temperature, that was just enough to cause the misfire. Because often we would have a problem, the bike would be misfiring. You would put it on the side, start it 15 minutes after the race, it would just run like a rocket, So that was very, very strange and very difficult to find out where that problem came from. Our main technical responsible, he by the end of the season, he had to go to hospital with stomach problems. He couldn't sleep anymore. He got so frustrated by not being able to solve that problem and to see that championship slipping away. But then only after the season we found out that there was no problem with the electrics at all. It was just that temperature with the new cylinder head. But by the time we found that out, it already had. The championship was gone. We even tried at the end of the year because I guess some of the people listening and watching are interested in technique as well. Probably we were always running the Italian Cayenne carburetor. Sorry, the Italian Dell'Orto carburetor from the beginning. Actually, already from the Husqvarnas in the 80s, and then when Husqvarna went to Italy and these Swedish guys, they took a restart with Husaberg. We were still on the Dell'Orto carbs, but then at the end of that year, 99, even the Motocross of Nations, I did with the Cayenne carburetor, and even by just swapping the carburetor for some reason, that kept the temperature of the cylinder head a bit, or of the bike in general, kept the temperature a bit more down, and you're talking details, a few degrees, but which made the bike last as normal, like there had never been a problem. So that was,
Wow.
that was a weird year, but we learned from it, and yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Some great detail there for everyone. Someone's put Numil 1990. What was it like lining up on your CR 500 against Eric and Thorpe?
Yeah. The story is that in 90 was my first year in the GPs. I wasn't
Wow.
lining up because I didn't make it through qualifying. So
Oh, right, okay.
that was my first year, but I had never ridden on hard tracks. I mean,
Oh, wow.
I started racing 3 years before,
Yeah.
86. 86 was my first year, and 86, 87 was my first year in the regional competition. We just raced around the church, so like we say,
Yeah.
on all those sandy tracks. And then
Yeah.
88 and 89, I raced a bit more national. So I raced already a little bit in the south of the country on the hard tracks. But that track in Namur for me, that was like a trial, like a special trial stage. It was not motocross. Some of the off campers, I had a hard time to stay on the track. So and those 5 stairs up, the first stair at the bottom of the hill was on those cobblestones. You had to corner on the cobblestones and then accelerate on the cobblestones and then try to get up that steep asphalt first step. But yeah, every lap I had to try 3 times to get up there. Go halfway, bam, on the floor, back down, try again. So that was crazy. That was unbelievable. I had always dreamt of racing there, but I could have never imagined that it was that difficult. But that for me was only triggering me more. Like I was. I wanted to that that should be my track, and a few years later, and like winning my 4th title in 2000, or 10 years later, and winning the GP, and also at previous occasions, like dominating the world on that track where I had been struggling so much in 90. That's that was mind-blowing. But okay, lining
Pretty
up
special, yeah.
the question was actually lining up, and a really how should I say, a really strong experience I have about that was actually that same year. We're talking 90, but
90, yeah.
as mentioned before, we had a lot of international races those days in Belgium, and
Yep.
one of the first races of the years was a big deep sand race in Koersel, but that only the Dutch and the Belgians will know. Very famous track those days. But also like Kurt and Dave and a lot of and Eric and all these guys, they did those races to get ready for the GPs, And
Okay.
I remember that was way more impressive. Then I was really lining up next to them at the gate, and I remember even I'm 1 meter and 80 centimeters, and I wasn't the smallest kid, but I remember very well how small I felt. I think Eric was only that size of me.
Yeah,
He was
yeah, yeah.
he was one head smaller than me, but I felt like I was looking like this to him.
Yeah, like,
And then Kurt, I remember Kurt. Actually, I really remember that day very well because Kurt was standing on the KTM, and the KTM was already like quite a tall bike those days,
yeah.
and they had those high seats on the bike. Jacky Martin was standing on the other side, also on a KTM with a high seat, and I had practiced with my bike all year long. My seat had become like a sofa. I was
It's going lower.
I was sitting 10 centimeters lower than I should be, and then looking up to these guys, and yeah, and I think after the second lap, they lapped me already. So yeah, that's
Wow.
some funny experiences there.
That's very cool, that is. Someone's put on there, look, can you tell us about the Vertimati brothers?
Oh, that's another chapter, guys. They were, how should I call? They were genius. But like often, I'm not gonna compare them with Albert Einstein or something, but they were a class on their own, like with
Yeah.
technically, but as often with people that are so clever in certain aspects, they're also often stubborn like hell. So, and that was a bit, sad, or a pity, let's say, because these were the difficult years. Like Husqvarna had been taken over by the Cagiva group in Italy. So we were riding a Swedish built bike, but the factory in Sweden, I don't know how many employees they had back in those days. They were building 400-500 bikes a year. I mean, yeah, there wasn't, the financial situation wasn't very healthy. I mean, the financial situation was healthy, but they didn't have enough money to really support a real factory racing team. So, and that was frustrating the Vertemati brothers so much, and that made them decide to, because 93, I was racing for them 93 and 94. They were based in Monza, not far from the Formula One track, and they were passionate to death, like by motocross, by off-road racing. One of the brothers was the engine specialist. The other guy was the frame builder. They were 100% complementary, and there was so much passion. And I can say about my whole career, no regrets, but also we've had ups and downs with them. But I really don't regret at all having spent 2 years with them, because sharing the people with the same heart and passion for the sport, okay, you don't always find them on that level, like we those were the days that we didn't talk about money. We talked about bikes and going racing and how to make it better and stuff like that. And I was on a way too low salary, but those were the days you didn't care. You just loved what you were doing, and you were sharing the same passion, going to the races with the same goal, fighting all as hard as you can. And I won my first GPs of my career with them. So I'm still thankful to them, and they to me, and it was just a nice chapter in my career.
Awesome. Got someone else has come on, Joel, and said, "I named my son after Joel."
All right. Oh, that's quite a few Joels around then.
There is, isn't there? Isn't it? What does that make you feel when people say that?
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And like with growing older now, I turned 51 this year. It's how should I say? Somehow, okay, my career is of course further and further behind me, but on the other hand, somehow often it's also quite close, because of the things you just mentioned. With you get to meet people that are talking to you, and hey, my son's named after you, and that son, by now, I won my first championship 95, so those kids can be 20, 25 by now. So yeah, then and if they come and talk to you with respect and with passion and stuff like that, yeah, of course, that touches your ego, like I think all athletes at that level, they all have a certain ego. They're proud. I'm proud of what I've achieved, and if people name their son after me, that means like how should I say, that makes me say like, hey, at least I did something right, left and right, It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool. I've got one here, no name on it. It's put, remember at the 500 GPs in 91, you were always first out for practice, regardless of the track conditions. Was this a superstitious thing? Most riders held back, especially if the track had been watered. I remember in Luxembourg, you had the track to yourselves for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but the problem was, no, it didn't have anything to do with being superstitious.
Nope.
But it had to do that with the fact that I still had to learn a lot. As I explained, I only started racing at 17, and if I explain this story to kids now, they declare me crazy, or that's not possible. But like in 91, I had a full-time job.
Wow.
I had a full-time job. and combined it with racing motocross at the highest level. So I even didn't have the time to go practice and ride my bike during the week. So my practice was actually at the GP.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I wanted to use every single minute of that practice, no matter if that was dusty or muddy or whatever. I would go out, and I also had to learn to ride in the mud.
Wow.
So I didn't care if it was watered or not. I would, and also when I worked, I had my 9 to 5, and often I finished work. Okay, let's say on Friday I made some extra hours during the week or during the
Yeah.
winter, so I could stop on Friday lunchtime and then bam, travel a few hundred kilometers to go to the GP, arrive
Wow.
Friday late at night, go take inspection in the morning. But then I was keen to ride. I wanted to just go out on the track, and most of those tracks I had only heard from, or read about or seen on TV. And then I came there and I could ride them. I was not gonna wait 10 minutes to go on the track. I had only dreamt my whole life of riding those tracks. So why would I wait another 10 minutes?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I love that. That's great. Didn't know that. That's awesome. Got hi Joel. What happened at Hawkstone? I think it was 2005. Did you store the bike at the top of the hill, or was it a bike fault?
Hmm.
Mm.
I don't think it was 2005, because 2005 I was on Suzuki.
Suzuki, so maybe
Yes.
3 or 4, is it? Maybe.
Um, oh, I even sorry guys that I don't remember all those 20 years, but
I
I
know.
do I do remember. It's not because of too many Jupiters. It's
No, no, no. You've
but
got a
I
good memory, do you?
99 I definitely had some 99 I definitely had some issues, but that was not really on top of Dylan. That was with the Huseberg. But I
Mm.
think I also had once, um, I think I had once a problem with the KTM, with the clutch or something like that. But I'm sorry, I'm not 100% sure. I can't really give a clear answer on that one.
Okay, no problem. We got a high ear and high
Oh,
ear to Smets from Brazil. From Brazil.
thank you guys. Gracias.
Congratulations.
Oh, Brazil is Portuguese. I don't talk Portuguese.
Yeah. All right. I got. How did you not get false neutrals with the Vertimati? Because neutral was all the way down. Gareth Edwards put. What's that?
But don't worry, I did get false neutrals.
You did.
Yeah, 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 you definitely had to get used to it, because I think nowadays it would be less of a problem. I think, because now the tracks are all a bit more flow. You always have the ruts, and you probably would never go to first gear. But yeah, but back in the days, for example, in the Muras, when I was talking about those off cambers and going downhill and having to corner at the bottom of the hill,
Yeah.
sometimes we would hit first gear to just get the braking power, and that was something I definitely had to get used to. But for some reason, with the construction of their gearbox, which was all, like all handmade, homemade, they
Wow.
those Italians, they made their pasta and their wine. That was all homemade, but also the gearbox and the crankcases were homemade.
That's
Everything was
wow.
home, everything was homemade. But
Wow.
and then for some reason, uh, you could I at some stage I couldn't get neutral, so was no chance on getting neutral. So they decided to, like, let's take first gear out. We don't need that first gear. It saves weight. We're gonna make you faster. So and
Brilliant.
that's what we did, and actually it worked. But yeah, sometimes you hit neutral and then yeah, you have to hook up again.
Wow. Gary Davids just put, I'm missing the darts to listen to this. Big fan of Joel.
Thank you.
Got quite a few people have mentioned about Walter Bartolini. I remember him on the first
Yeah.
Huseberg. Is that right? Quite a couple of
Yes.
people have mentioned it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's completely correct. Yeah. Walter Bartolini was the cousin of later world champion Andrea Bartolini,
Oh, yeah.
and he did Italian championships, but he also in '91, I think he did Namur on the Huseberg, and I think he also did a GP in Italy on the Hussenberg and took the whole shot also, because that kid was weighing 50 kilos, I think, and it was an uphill start, and he blew away all the factory bikes there. But that's true. He was actually the real first, even before Jacky Martins, but he did only, as far as I can remember, he did only 2 GPs that year, but he was the first to be back with the modern four-stroke, let's say. Yeah, correct.
So let's put, hi Joel, was starting your career at a later age compared to today's kids. What was your thoughts on starting later in the modern era?
Well, that's also a very good and a very interesting question, because I do believe, strongly do believe, that you can still start at 17 and win a championship. And actually, our rider Tom Vial, I worked with him for 2 years now, and actually with Tom, I'm so happy that I've been able to kind of prove that point, because nowadays too many parents do believe, and too many kids, they think they need to be a full professional at the age of 8 or 10 years old, but it's far from the truth. At the age of 8 or 10, they should eventually ride a little moped in the backyard, but they should, for instance, play soccer, play tennis, ride bicycles, and go swimming and do whatever they like to do, whatever that the kid does to develop their body as a whole. And then if they have the talent and if they have the desire, no worries, no worries, it will come through. If you look at Tom Vial, and that I hope that makes people think. If you look at Tom Vial, he raced a bit. His father bought him a bike, of course, and he did a little bit national championships, ATCC. He even never rode a 125. He straight went to a 250 and rode a little bit on national level. And listen what I'm saying. He has never done the European Championship 125. He just turned 20 now. So last year, at the age of 18, turning 19 last year, it was his first year in the World Championship. The year before, he was 18. He was his first full year in the European 250. And the year before, he did only 2 rounds of the European Championship 250 at the age of 17. So that's, I think I don't need to explain too much more.
No.
He did the European Championship back in 2018, jumped to the World Championship with the right approach, with the right attitude, with the right desire and belief, went from nowhere to win a GP, to finish fourth in the championship, and the year after, with the same, even more desire and belief, went on to win the championship. I mean, that's almost a copy of my career. Let's say, okay, the kid, I was playing soccer competition and racing BMX competition until I was 17, because I didn't have a bike. This kid, of course, was also doing other sports, but okay, he was racing on a national, regional, and national level. He was doing some races, so it's not completely the same. But his father or his parents did not travel with him the whole world, like to do all the championships and stuff like that. They didn't spend millions of euros to chase that dream, and having lost all their money before the moment's there that you really have to do it. So they in my eyes really did it the right way, and I don't believe you need to be world champion at the age of 10.
Yeah.
Really
do you think they do it too early now? Too serious too early? These kids get burnt out quite early.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then they're not they don't enjoy it much, and then it sort of fall out of love of it.
Yeah. That's another evening we can talk about that. But
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
But the financial part is a big thing.
Yeah.
The financial part is a big thing. Traveling the world with your kid, buying bikes, parts, and stuff like that costs heaps of money, and brings a lot of pressure on the families. Often these kids have brothers and sisters, and that's I've seen so many families go wrong because of that. Instead of just being modest, being a family, and if the kid is motivated and has the desire and the ambition and the will to do it, even at the age of 17 he can do it, and Tom Vial has just proven it. So I'm double happy with that championship, because I with a lot of people I have to fight against that idea, because they do believe at the age of 14 they need a full factory bike, they need fully tuned suspension, they need actually at least a bike trainer, they need a physical trainer, they need a nutritionist, and maybe something else, a mental coach. And then because when they are already 14, otherwise they are too late. Bullshit.
Yeah, I actually agree with that one, Joel. Got a question here from Ian Chesterman. He's put, Joel, how do you remember the nations at Fox Hill in '98 apart from the mud?
That's also a good question. I remember very well, because unfortunately I wasn't racing. I have missed very, very, very few races in my career. I think I have the longest standing record of consecutive GP starts, because for 14 consecutive years or 14 consecutive seasons, I haven't missed a single GP.
Wow.
But unfortunately, for the nations in Foxhill,
Did you travel?
yes, I did.
Yeah.
The week before Foxhill, I was doing a race in Germany to train and prepare for Foxhill, and I hurt myself, so I couldn't ride. I broke my wrist, and I couldn't ride. So, but I was part of Team Belgium, and I loved that race so much. So I took my camper and went there. But whew, oh man! But anyway, we still had a good party, because
Crazy.
we came out
You
on
won.
top again.
Yeah, you won. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Was there a big after party for the Belgium team?
As usual.
I bet that was fun.
We are known for that.
Yes, exactly that.
That's why we race so hard, because we know then we deserve a good party.
Yeah, brilliant. That's actually my hometown as well, where Fox Hill is. So I had a walk around there. I walked around the track on Sunday with my young daughter, so it's quite cool.
Yeah. Well, I think even Fox Hill was part of that Shell Advance.
Yes, it was.
Well, because also Fox Hill, I never raced it, because it was always 250 GPs, and I raced it once, and that was the same thing with Swerve and Mervin.
Yeah, Swerve.
Shell Advanced Series. So I'm really happy that I got to race as well Farley as Foxhill. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get like a sort of a reunion meeting there next year, and a few ex-pros coming and that, so it should be cool. Yeah, still there. Someone's put, what was the first bike Joel ever rode on? We covered that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Someone's put, like your son is doing now, did you ever fancy doing any big beach races like the Le Tourc or Western Supermare?
I would have loved to do so, because I'm 100% convinced that that's the type of races they are made for me.
Yeah.
I've always been the man of the long haul, like the longer the races got, the stronger I became, for some reason. Also, because of my work ethic, but and my physical strength. But I just like that survival spirit in it, like and to calculate and stuff like that. But unfortunately, if you think about my Husenberg, if it didn't survive a GP, it would have never survived
Western,
Western or a Le Touquet. And then later on my career with KTM, it got more. The World Championship got more professional. We got more races. We got our preseason races in Beaucaire and things like that. So it was actually really difficult to combine regarding bike setup. You could not just take a motocross bike there and go, because then the chance on a DNF was too big. You had to be prepared, and also bike wise, but also physically for a 3-hour race, you needed to prepare a bit different, and that for me was not really a problem, because I would have loved to do so to prepare myself for Le Touquet with a lot of endurance training, and then that strength I could have easily taken into the GPs. That would have not been a problem. But if you train specifically as a rider yourself for a certain race, then also technically the bike needs to be set up correctly as well, because you don't want to train and spend days and days and days working for that event, and then after 1 hour the bike breaks down, for example. That you don't want to happen. So unfortunately, we never got the whole package to do it, and that's one of my regrets. I'm really happy I did, as I said, I did Farley, and I got to race the Foxhill track and stuff, so I can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
But never say never. It's never too late. So because
No.
actually, it's a funny story, because in Le Touquet, they always do on the Friday, they do a 1 hour veteran race also.
Oh.
So actually now, after Tom won the championship, also his father, Frederick Vial, he used to do a few times Le Touquet. He came one time third, I think, in Le Touquet. And his best buddy is Arnaud de Meester, the 6 times or 7-time winner of Le Touquet. And I know Arnaud also very well, because he lives really close to the Belgian border. So between the three of us, there is a story going on. Like
Can we do that?
Yeah, Fred has prepared a KX 500 from somewhere in the 90s, and Arnaud de Meester is building a YZ 250 two-stroke with the big tank and stuff like that, and the long arm. And I have a Huseberg kind of on the side too. So maybe.
Oh, this could be interesting.
Unfortunately, now with that whole Corona thing, maybe we can postpone it. But we had something in the pipeline to finally do Le Touquet.
Wow! So maybe in the future then.
Yeah. That's still I need to take off the bucket list there.
yeah, that'd be a cool one. Ben Piggins basically asking, were you offered any other rides? Was there any different offers you got over the years? Did you ever receive an offer from Yamaha? He's put as well.
Yeah, Belgacom. He mentions that's the team that Jordan was running, and I got an offer, but the problem was that they were still on 2 strokes, and I was convinced that the future was 4 stroke, and that was not always easy to. No, how should I say? It was like, or you have to look at it in that time frame. We were together with Jacky and myself. 93, 94, we were the only 2 4-strokes, so it was not so easy to believe that the future belonged to the 4-strokes. But I was quite convinced. I got, for example, also I talked to Roger de Koster every now and then, and he had that information from the US, and he also says, Joel, believe me, the future is gonna be the 4-strokes. So I had some inside information left and right. So I didn't want to go back to the 2 strokes when with that offer from Belgacom. But then later on my career, I got several times. I got the chance, I think after winning my 2nd world title in 97, I had to re-sign with Huseberg. But then I had a good offer to ride for Kawasaki in the 250 class. I went, and from Suzuki as well. So I went testing the Tortelli Kawasaki. But that bike, I didn't like at all. It was I have, coming from the 4-stroke, I was used to a lot of bottom power, like that nice torque from on low RPM. And I don't know how Tortelli actually could ride that bike, but he could, because he won the championship with it. But that bike had nothing at the bottom and everything on the top, and that was just opposite from what I was used to and from what I liked. And for sure, that was the late Jan de Groot.
Running the JHK.
So for sure, Jan should have been able to make what I liked. But then at the same time, I was also testing the Suzuki from Sylvan, the bike Marnik had been riding, and that bike power-wise suited me straight away quite well. But yeah, again, it was it was a 250 class, was a bit different, but still it was 2 strokes, and my heart and love was on the 4-stroke. So I stayed with the 4 strokes, and then again in 2003, towards the end of my career, I actually had a really good offer again from Suzuki, which turned out the way I was gonna go. But then I had a really good offer also from Honda and from from KTM where I was. But I had a really good offer from Honda, and actually I came for a secret test to Hoxton.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you?
because Harry Ainsworth with Cas Honda was
Yeah, yeah.
still running the factory effort from Honda, and so I came to Hoxton to test Atsuta's bike,
Oh, yeah.
and I was impressed. I was impressed by the that was I hadn't been on a Honda anymore since the beginning of the 90s, since my
Yeah.
CR500.
Yeah.
And I went back to that 450 4-stroke bike, and it somehow it almost felt like, phew, it's a completely different bike. It's an aluminium frame. It's a 4-stroke, so it really has nothing to do with my CR500. Nothing at all. It's like black and white,
Yeah.
but still you could feel. I could feel it was a Honda. I don't know how to explain it,
All
but
right.
that bike, that complete package with suspension, power delivery, even the way, yeah, the position of the handlebar on the bike, the geometry,
Yeah.
the seat, like that whole package was like, it was almost like when I rode first time that Husaberg. You know what I told you in the beginning of the interview.
Yeah. Yeah. It's right.
Uh,
Good.
I said, like, I felt like, um, that bike, I could go out and win straight away, even without turning the clickers on the shock. Let's say that was
Yeah.
kind of the feeling. And I was riding that bike in Hoxton, and on a Monday or a Tuesday, and in the weekend they had like uh, how is that amateur federation called in England? You guys have a, not the ACU, but it's called AMCA or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. AMCA. Yeah.
So
AMCA. Yeah.
yeah, so 500 amateur riders have been riding on that track. So
Ooh, quite
those
rough.
those
Yeah.
bumps were like
Quite rough. Yeah.
yeah, like whoops, like
Yeah. Yeah.
all over the track. But
Yeah.
it worked really really well with that bike back in the days. So that made my decision really difficult, because I had a really good relationship with Silver, and they had in Japan the 450 kind of ready, and yeah, and Sylvan actually could convince me to convince me sign for Suzuki with to sign to ride the bike, which I hadn't seen, I hadn't ridden at all, so I knew nothing about the bike. I
Yeah.
knew I knew that was gonna be the very first Suzuki with an aluminium frame, because and it was gonna be the very first 4-stroke, because they were still riding on the 2-stroke. Pichon was still riding
Yeah.
the steel framed 2-stroke bike, so that was their very first prototype. I hadn't seen it, I hadn't ridden it, but Sylvan convinced me anyway to sign for him. And that's, maybe, if I look back at my career, I do not regret at all that I have worked with Sylvan, because he's
Yeah.
for me one of the biggest, how do you call it, gentlemen and team managers in the history of motocross.
Mhm.
So I really do not regret at all that I've worked for him. But at the end of my career, I was 34 already, and I signed a financial pretty good deal with Suzuki, but the offer from Honda was quite similar. And on the sports side, I think I could have done better short term on the Honda back in those days, but nobody can, and also I can't turn back time, so I don't like to regret those things. It was a nice
Yeah.
experience, and yeah.
Ah, nice. I never knew that. That's pretty cool that you rode the Honda then. Someone's put, what does Joel think about the British riders in the GPs at the moment?
Uh, well, the younger Watson brother
Yes.
has been doing quite well, and I'm happy for him, because
Yeah.
yeah, I know the family a little bit, and I think I do also truly believe that Nathan has a lot of potential. And I even heard now that that he might be doing GPs also next year for the Honda team he's riding for. So that would be really good, because I do believe he has the potential to be top 10 in MX1 also.
Yeah, definitely.
But he never really got a chance to develop himself in the MX1 class. So and like now with his younger brother, also in the MX1 class, it would be good for the sport and for British motocross and stuff like that. But for the for the sport worldwide, like to have those different nationalities involved and riders doing well in the different countries. So it would be really good to see Nathan and Ben doing really well in the MX1 class. So and then there is there is Conrad
Muse, yeah.
yeah, that for me, I don't know Conrad that well, but yeah, for some reason I also do believe there is more potential than what he shows, or he doesn't show it often enough. But I'm a bit too far off to judge, what could be the reason for that, and so that's difficult. It's a bit the same with Max Anstey. If you see Max potential, you can only regret that he's in the US. He should be with us and banging bars with Prado and Herlings and these guys, and he should be able to do so. I mean, he's proven it also in the MX2 class, and he's even proven it in the MX1 class also. But it's a bit the same. Okay, he's the older guy from Conrad, of course, but it's also strange why even in the MX2 class, why he had such a high ups and such a low downs. Again, also there I'm too far off to judge. But if you can win GPs and score podiums, you should also be able to be more consistent. I cannot understand how you can fight for 15th 1 week and win a GP the other week, and fight for 15th again or 10th the week after. For me, that's something. Then you're doing something wrong. That must be able to flatten that out, and to get more out of you. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got the out and out speed for sure, like Max has. Showed that in MX the Nations and stuff. Obviously, all the Brits as well. You got Max Anstey, Simpson, the Watson brothers. They're all very good sand riders as well. Very good.
Yeah.
Won GPs and.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, they're all round, because they're all doing well. For example, at Matterley as well. So no, they have a pretty good all round package. So there's
What's your thoughts on the rule of the where obviously Ben's got to now go up? Obviously, had to go up into the MX1. What's your thoughts on the rule, the age rule for MX2?
Oh, yeah. Some people love it, some people like it.
Yeah.
I don't really have a very outspoken opinion about it. It's I think in the case of Ben, for example, it is good to move up. You can't stay around for your whole career. If in some cases, like in the past, when you have like Alessio Chiodi, for example, who's also only 1.5 meter high. Guys like that, or like Bobby Moore or something like that. Pudzar, some kids would not really fit on a big bike, so then you can say like, give them the freedom to stay in the MX2 class, or just let it free. But like now, Thomas Kjær is also moving up, but he's 2 meters tall. So at the age of 23, if you consider yourself as serious, someday you need to go up and bang bars with the best in the world, I think.
Because obviously, that's quite a few of the Brits have sort of been saying about, obviously, if Ben Watson's won a few GPs, that's sort of the end now, that he could have probably gone on and maybe challenge for the world title next year. So I suppose they're like looking at it in that way.
Wow, that's a mistake a lot of people make. That you have to be realistic. You have to set realistic goals. And Ben Watson, I'm not part of the team or anything to do with it, but Ben Watson would be very smart if his aim was to try to be consistent top 10, because that's going to be more than difficult enough. And don't worry, believe me, that big 450 is going to throw him off a few times.
Sorry, what I meant was that, as in with the age rule, that if he could have stayed down, he could have challenged for the MX2 title next year.
Okay,
Sorry, that's what I meant.
yeah, I got that wrong.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, but that's
Difficult one.
yeah, at that stage, what would that 250 title mean? What would be the value of, you know what I
It's
mean?
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be, and still there is new kids coming up. There is that, as we say, there is that Guadagnini, there is Hofer. If he's gonna stay one more year longer, it doesn't mean that it's gonna be more easy.
No.
Tom Vial is gonna be still there. Iago is gonna be there. Renault is coming up. They'll all be stronger. Van der Moosdijk is gonna be there up there. It's not because he has won now at the end a few GPs. That because Iago kept on making mistakes and Tom slowed down a bit with the championship in view inside. So I mean, all credits to Ben, because I liked him and I congratulate him, because it's a nice kid, as I mentioned already before. Both of them, Nathan and Ben, and even their parents and stuff like that. It's a really nice family, and he really deserved those wins more than anybody else probably. And I'm happy for him, but I think if he would stay another more year, I don't think he would have a better bet for the championship than this year. So I think it's good that he moves up and takes next year as a learning year in the 450 class, and maybe sometime in 2, 3, 4 more years, hopefully be fighting for the championship in MX1.
Yeah, I think he'd be very happy with his top 10 finishes next year. It'd be really good in the stack class for sure. Neil Thomas put, hi from Wales. Joel, who did you most enjoy racing against and your most favourite track?
Yeah, my most favorite track is easy. But I have two.
Okay.
Yes, I have two. But the one that stands out is Namur. For many reasons. First of all, because I have really strong memories watching my childhood hero Roger de Coster, being there as a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid, walking up the stairs there, see my heroes coming by, having his fights with Heikki Mikola, and then having my struggles there as a racer at the beginning of my career, and then having my greatest successes also there. But also that track technically was by far, but by very far, the most difficult, most technical track to ride on. The tree roots, the off cambers, the rocks, the big trees next to the track, the level of technical difficulty can't be compared with any other track in the world. So, and the more technical, the more difficult, the more I loved it. So that's by far, and still a very good strong second is Hoxton. I of course I love to ride the sand, but a sand track. What I loved so much about Hoxton is that it combines the heavy physical aspect of a sand track with also a rather high technical difficulty level. It's not just a sand track where with a good physical condition you can come away. You need to be also a little bit smooth, good with line choice and cornering and stuff like that. It's a very, maybe it doesn't look so, but it's a very technical track, Hoxton, and that in combination with the really it's physical demanding. That's a really perfect combination.
I actually went there this year and watched. There's a British series called the MX Nationals, and it doesn't seem to be as deep these days. It seems a little bit not as deep, Sam, for sure.
Well, to be honest, that's a bit true. Yeah, that's because I've been pretty much I think every year since I even retired from racing, and it kind of looks like the dirt somehow is packed.
Compacting, yeah, compacting.
But I have to say also that first section after the start with the black sand, that already used to be quite hard. Also, back in the days. But the only thing what you get nowadays is that they tend to build more obstacles all the time, and then you race from obstacle to obstacle, and you don't get the speed and the how should I say, and the length of the straights to develop. Let's say with
not churning it up so much. Yeah.
To create holes, and
Mhm.
that's not only in Hoxton, but that's also at other tracks.
Okay. So, here's Graham was back. This was at 7:45. He said this. Well, 8:45 your time. He put, "I'm laughing like how I just understood every word. Brilliant." Is that he's trying to do his Belgium?
Cheers, mate.
There you go, Graham. Love that. I love that. Someone's put, "This is one of my favourite interviews yet. Love hearing what Joel has to say." Got one. Liam Jarvis has put, "Ask Joel how much did he like Desert Martin, and about the time he was guest around 2001, 2002 in Superpole, he was turning the berms about a foot out and beat the lap time by about 3 seconds. Great memory."
Well, yeah, I could be fast. I was very all round, so I could be fast a bit everywhere. But to be honest, Desert Martin wasn't my favorite track. No, Desert Martin. It was a bit unpredictable. Also the layout of the track, for some reason, I don't know, some tracks you immediately feel happy with, and some tracks you don't have that
feel.
You don't have that same feel, and it definitely also in Desert Martin it had something to do with the soil. There was some gravel, some stones, those round rolling stones on top, and like a little bit softer dirt underneath, square edges. Not my favorite.
It looked pretty from afar. Right, I've got someone from YouTube here, Kevin. Joel. There he is. He's put, "Joel, now as a manager stroke coach, do you take your own experience to help to your riders to help them? Can you tell something about the mental and physical guidance of riders?"
Oh, Kevin. Kevin's father was a long time fan of myself, and Kevin's as well.
That's nice.
He's Kevin's a goalkeeper.
Is he?
It's quite a while I've heard about him, Kevin. Sorry about that, but he's been on international level, a goalkeeper in for many years in the first division in Holland. But that on the side, I'm happy to hear about him. So Kevin, hello, and hello to your dad. But of course, I do use my experience to help my riders, and especially with not only with the younger kids, because that experience I can even still help Caroli sometimes with it, even if he has won more championships than I do. But every now and then there are some small details which he can still learn from. But of course, the younger riders can do more. And in motocross, the mental aspect is probably even more important than in other sports. My main philosophy is that you need to enjoy it, and you need to really focus on things what matters, and do not lose energy in too many side effects. Don't focus too much on what other people are doing. Don't get distracted by, again, what other people do. Make a good plan, trust in the plan, stick with the plan, and go for it. And that will give you the confidence. And I mean, and also working with the rider is one thing, but for sure, if you have younger riders, then you need to work also with the family, because the family is a very important part, because mom has to cook for the kid, and dad has to clean the boots of the kid. So but that's a team effort, and
Mm.
it is so important if you want to make kids strong. It is so important that that kid can go home and feel relaxed at home. If the team, like let's say myself, if my plan, what I have in mind for my rider, if that doesn't suit with what mom or dad have in mind, then we have a problem.
Mm.
And that's gonna turn the kid's head upside down, and he might win a race, but the week after he might be fighting for 15th. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if that's the problem for Conrad or Max or whatever.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
But I'm maybe not that there more things can affect, of course, results. But I'm 100% sure that a big part of Tom's success and to come through the ranks, let's say in 2 years' time, from Mr. Nobody to being the reigning world champion,
Yeah.
a big part of his success was 100% sure was the strong bond, I think, which I could kind of build together between or with his family. So
Yeah.
to make them come along, to make them understand what we are doing, and to keep them involved, to keep mom and dad involved as
Yeah.
much as possible, but not too
Mhm.
much. Finding the right balance. The mom being
Yeah.
the mom, the dad being the dad not being the trainer, the mom not being the mental coach. Like find that right balance
Mhm.
is sometimes is sometimes more important than talking to the kid. Mental training is not just telling to the kid 100 times a day that he's the biggest champion ever.
Mm.
That's also that can also be kind of a mental training, but that's not my style. You have to start from the base and build it up from there, and
So that's very interesting. So you make it sort of very personal with the family.
yeah, it depends. Huh?
Mm.
I
Mm.
My thing is, you need to a good plan
Mhm.
is the base of a good mental coaching. I mean, I even don't like to call it mental coaching, because then it sounds too expensive,
Yeah.
yeah. But I do not see it as something complicated.
Mm.
I do see it as something easy, common sense. A lot of people don't know what common sense means.
Mm.
You have to be realistic. You have to put your feet on earth. You have to be able to analyze everything well, to put everything in the right perspective, not taken out of the context things. That is very important, and that will give the rider a lot of confidence. And in the case of Tom, the family came over from France. They moved from France to live in Belgium, 10 minutes from my place. So yeah, that's a serious sacrifice you made, but that comes with a whole lot of consequences. You need to get organized and stuff like that.
Mm.
To give the whole family the idea that they're working on it as a team, that's very important to create rest in the head of the racer. And that was important for in the case of Tom. But for example, Rene Hofer, his parents have their own company in Austria. So not every family can just move from one place to another. Life is not always that easy. But okay,
Yeah.
that means that for Rene, yeah, we need to find another solution, and having his parents involved in another way, because for those young kids, parents are important, whether you like it or not. Even if that relationship is not maybe in some cases it's not always perfect, but then it's one of my tasks also to make it better, because that's the start of of coaching. Let's say if I need to go to the track, and my rider doesn't feel happy and is not really enjoying it 100% what he's doing, the results are not going to be there, or at least not consistent.
Brilliant. That's some great insight there. Thanks for that. Joel. Got David Campbell, the Scottish
All
motocross
right.
rider.
Yeah.
He's put, hi Joel. It's been a long time since you invited me to train with you in 1998 for a week to see how it was done to get fit as I was doing the 500 GPs that year. Then at the end of that week, you got me an entry for a Belgian championship at a track which was near Mr. Bavortz's home. First race, I ended up taking you off at the start on the first corner. Well, I couldn't concentrate thinking you would get payback. How is the Scottish accent these days?
Since I should talk to I should talk to Gordon Crockett.
Crockett, yeah.
Crockett. Okay, that's Irish. That's not
Irish,
Scottish.
yeah.
Scottish. But yeah, it's a funny. I always love that accent. It's crazy. Scottish, of course, I know you guys it's different from Irish, but
Yeah.
also with Crockett, I always have to laugh as well when I hear his accent, and of course with Sean also, and it's a quite funny accent. But I do remember that I do remember that with David. So that also, like that's a very small detail in my whole career, of course. But I'm happy he brings it up, because things like that also helped me to widen my vision, like not to stay narrow-minded, and just have David came over from Scotland and stayed in Belgium for a week, and having fun together made my life. He probably liked it, but it also made my life easier and more interesting. And like now, seeing his name popping up after 22 years,
Yeah, it's cool.
how cool is that? So
Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
that means that memories for life as well,
Yeah.
as well for him as for me, and that's and that's not the only time this happened. He's only one of those one of the guys, let's say, that you get to meet during your career, and that made it all worth it and made it all fun.
Brilliant. He's a great character as well. When I was walking around Fox Hill on a live video, he was like, can you go and search for my Pro Grip goggles that should be in the first corner somewhere in the mud?
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Someone else put the bloke's a legend. Someone else put a great interview. What a legend. Joel, what was your best bike you ever raced?
I think my best bike was close. My 95 Husseberg and my 2000 KTM. Yeah, both bikes were really, really nice. Handling unbelievable, power delivery just awesome. That both bikes, I think the handling, the cornering, and everything like that, yeah, probably both bikes stand out far, because I mean my 90 the Hussebergs I've been riding afterwards, and even the Verdamaris, geometry wise and stuff, they were not far off, but always you try to improve and try to make it better. But it's sometimes only a few years later that you realize like that it wasn't too bad. Like changing doesn't always mean improving. Of course you change in order to improve, but it doesn't always work. And that first KTM with that was a 575 engine. I can tell you, when the gate drops, you have to hang on to the handlebars.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that was a beast. Often, I get often asked, like nowadays when riders get injured and stuff like that, and like, bikes are too fast. I said, wait a second, I'll bring you my 575 out, and then you know what a fast bike is. Do you really think that those 450 mopeds are faster than the 575? I don't think so. Don't worry.
Put some hairs on your chest.
Yeah.
Did you keep any of the World Championship winning bikes, Joel?
Yes, But unfortunately, there's a funny story. I mean, a sad story connected to that as well.
Okay.
I had my 5 bikes from the 5, and I have a few more. I'm in the wrong room. Otherwise, I could have shown you. But but no, from my 5 World Championship bikes, 2 got stolen. My
Wow, you're
my
joking.
my Husaberg 95, that is the worst thing. No, also my 2003 KTM is also really sad. But
Wow.
My Husaberg 95, there was no, or maybe there still is 2 in the world. I had one, and my mechanic had one, because they
Okay.
were also pretty much handmade, you know.
One-offs, yeah.
Yes, and with the 50th anniversary of the club of Namur, which I was really good friend with, of course, with the club,
Yeah.
to celebrate their 50th anniversary, they had in a big place in the center of the city of Namur. They had for several weeks an exposition about their
Oh, yeah.
50th anniversary, because the club of Namur and the GP and Namur was not only for motocross but for the city. It was a
Yeah, yeah.
big thing, you know.
Amazing,
And
yeah.
they had a really nice exposition.
Wow.
And by the end of the exposition, some criminals drove backwards into the one of the windows, and stole a couple of bikes. And unfortunately, I think I was just unlucky, because there was quite some bikes there, you know, like from those old BSRs and Triumphs and stuff
Yeah, yeah.
straight after the First World War and stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, my 95 championship winning Husaberg was disappeared in the van from the criminals. So that's a really sad story, because yeah, of course, we never found anything back of it. So
Wow.
I'm happy to know that my mechanic still has his one. So there is only one bike left over from that 95 winning bike. And then the 2003 is just as sad of a story. We have close to Brussels,
Uh-huh.
we have a big sports museum, and that museum is split up in 2 parts: one for Olympic sports and one for non-Olympic sports. And I had my 2003, my last championship bike, I had on loan there in that museum. But that's a national museum, you know, like
Yeah, it's
there's
amazing,
really
yeah.
alarm and everything like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, at someday I got a phone call from the museum. Yeah, they showed me all the cameras from the alarm system and stuff like that. And yeah, but
Wow.
bike's gone. Yeah, that's really weird. So 2 of my luckily I won 5 championships, so at least I have 3 bikes left.
Jesus. I've got a
Yeah,
picture here that's quite cool.
yeah. Look, so both bikes. The first one, the KTM with the number 3 on the left,
Yeah.
that's the one that got stolen in the National Museum. And
Jeez.
on the other end, the number 3 Husaberg, that's the one that got stolen at the exposition in Namur, in the city center. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You got a good one here.
There he is.
I
Joel Robert.
got
That's
a cool young one. There's the old the
yeah,
500 Honda.
yeah, that's 92 CR 500. Yeah. Oh, that's that's my dad actually next to me. That's 96 Teutschenthal, where I just after winning my first world title, that one I
That's
just
pretty
got
cool.
handed over the number 1 plate there. That was for. Yep. Yeah, that's wow. Yeah,
Got that off Travis Pastrana.
yeah.
This is a newer one, isn't it, Joe? That's not that long. When was that?
That's actually, to be honest, that's when I worked for Suzuki, but that's already could be nearly 10 years ago. But that's electric bike actually.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
I was just looking at that
yeah,
bike as well.
yeah,
That's a
yeah. That's the same bike, I think. Electric bike. Yeah, we did some some promotion for the sport here in Belgium to to say like, hey, we are looking for solutions with electric bikes and stuff like that.
that's
Yeah.
another cool picture.
Yeah, that's No, that is, I said before Teutschenthal, but I didn't win my first championship in Teutschenthal. This is Teutschenthal. I won my first championship. That other picture is from Holzkerling in also in Germany. And this is Teutschenthal. And that must be 91. And Teutschenthal is also a pretty something special to me because I won my very first GP in Teutschenthal. And also my 50th in Teutschenthal, and as a team manager for the Motocross of Nations, I have won one world title with the team, and that was also in Teutschenthal.
Wow.
So I have some pretty good memories. Yes.
That's a good one. Are you and Shane King?
Yeah. Oh, Shane will love that one because that's the year I lost the championship to him.
Yeah. I did an interview with him on Skype, and that was quite cool with him as well.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, that's
going back in it, Joe.
Whew, that's back. That must be 9. Yeah, but that was regional, like regional federation.
National, yeah. National.
Yeah, even not national, regional.
Oh, right. So, right.
That
Even
was
more local.
98, I think, my first year probably. No, sorry, my second year of racing. 88, sorry, not 98, 88, yeah.
There with the three of you.
Yeah. There
so
you
you're
go.
having a chat with Stefan.
Yeah, Stefan, yeah. Yeah. All right, that's some. That was at some reunion event or something. I think Jacky with his old KTM and myself with an old Huseberg. Yeah,
can't get used to Jacky without the proper moustache.
Yeah, that was 92. Also, I was there was a blue Honda. That was pretty rare to see, but I was a bit disappointed with. I was fourth in the championship as a full privateer, but I couldn't get a single penny of support from Honda. I couldn't not one screw. So I was so disappointed with that at some stage I had a little sponsor deal with a service for plastics. And they said, "Hey, Joel, we have laying around here some white and blue plastics for a CR500. Does it say something to you?" I said, "Yes, please, because I want to get rid of that red because they don't want to support me."
Oh, right, okay. So, it almost looks like a TM there, doesn't it?
Yeah. So there was no Honda signs on my bike.
Right, okay, that's why.
Blue and white plastics.
Oh, I like that. This is a good one.
Oh, Flemish Lion.
Yeah.
Joel Smets doing the Ooga Booga.
That's the one, yeah.
That looks like a muddy race also there. Huh?
It does, doesn't it?
I think it looks like I throw in my jersey or something into the crowd or something. I think.
Yeah, I reckon.
Must be something like
that. Celebrating something.
Entertainer.
That's it.
That's a muddy race. My God.
It's a cool one.
Oh, that's a very recent one. That's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, really, really, really nice.
Good feeling.
Yeah, very good, very good.
All the hard work pays off. It's good job.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's also okay. We didn't win it. I think this one was probably France. I don't know. It's Latvia. I can just see it on the top of the picture. I think we came in second. So yeah, Motocross of Nations, like defending my country. I was always very proud to be able to defend my country as well as a rider, as later on as a team manager. When I put on the colors of my country, I immediately felt proud, and also I felt like I could not let my countrymen down. I had to give it everything to make Belgian motocross fans proud. And so that's what I did as a racer and as a team manager as well. So yeah, not
very special. Very special to do both sides of the fence for your country. Very special.
Yes, yeah. Happy being there, done that, and happy that I did it. Definitely. Yeah, that was beginning of '94. Beginning of '94, Jacky with the mustache still.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Jacky being the reigning world champion.
Yeah.
And then young Marcus Hansen and young Joel Smets as being his main rivals for the championship in '93. Sorry, in '94. And then finally, Marcus Hansen on the left side walked away with the championship. He deserved to win it, I think, that year. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a good interview with him. That was interesting as well. Here we go. It's
But
good times.
but that's on home turf. I think that's maybe because it looks like on the joy on our faces that we've won it. I think
Definitely one, yeah.
this could be actually in Belgium in Zolder.
Yeah.
Zolder 2003.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Could be,
It's
yeah.
pictured a bit too, but I think so. Yeah.
I'm thinking nice memories. I'm thinking, is this one that looks like Hawkstone? Is it?
Yeah, that's the downhill in Hoxton. Yeah.
Yeah, at the bottom of the hill. Yeah.
Perfect.
Loving that, laying that down.
I'm not sure, but I feel like I'm pretty far hanging over there.
Yeah, definitely getting it sideways on that.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I'm probably preparing to take one of my typical cut-off lines, like from outside to inside or something.
Yeah, it
using
looks like it.
using a braking bump as a berm or something, probably something like
That's
that.
what it looks like. Yeah, that's a cool.
Yeah, that's actually a very young picture. That picture is only a few years old, but it is with my old gear, with my complete old gear,
Yeah.
with my 95 gear, and the bike is also a 95 lookalike, but it is not. This
Right.
was also at some regional fun event, let's say.
Okay.
Yep, that's.
I like the helmet as well with a spray job on it. By the it. Very cool.
Yeah, that helmet was actually made because of if you can go back to the previous picture, it's that was made.
Is this one? That one?
No,
This one. Sorry,
the
this one.
helmet. Yeah, that's like how do the reindeer in
Yeah, I was
Sweden.
just about to say it looks like a reindeer.
It's supposed to look like, but
Oh, right, okay.
because of the Swedish bike, and the reindeers there, and so.
Right, I'm with you. Yeah, it's a nice one.
Yeah, that's the bike I talked to you about. That's the 575. That was
a bit of a beast, was it?
That was the beast. That was the beast. I think this looks like Falcon Sword.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks like a sword. Nice one.
That's 2003. Yeah, that was 92.
Very.
That was the year of my first that I won my first GP. That was 93. This one, and actually the picture on the right side, like on the podium picture with the crown. Let's say that's the picture of the podium in Teutschenthal when I won my first GP of my career.
What was the feeling of that on your first career win?
Amazing. Not possible to very hard to realize. That was a very weird feeling driving home from that race. Like I had always dreamt of becoming a motocross rider, but I had always thought that winning GPs or let alone winning championships was really way out of my reach, and then suddenly being there and standing on the top step of the podium was just unreal. And I remember we were driving home, and motocross was still in Belgium mainstream at the news. So if you won a GP, you were in all the newspapers, you were on all the radio stations, you were on all the TV channels. Okay, TV channels back then, we didn't have so many TV channels yet, but you were on national TV. And I remember that Teutschenthal is only a few hours drive. So I remember that we drove across the Belgian border, and we were tuned in on Belgian radio, and on the midnight news, 12 o'clock midnight. They said the main points of the headlines of the news. And then they said, yeah, on the sports side, Belgian Joel Smets won his first GP in the 500cc class.
Wow.
So hearing my name on national radio was like, yeah, I thought
That's something.
dreaming. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. Really cool. Someone's put who was your best teammate?
I've the good thing is that I'm coming along with everybody. I've made fun with all my teammates. So to name one,
difficult.
It's difficult. Would show some disrespect to the others. I feel like, because
so you got on with all of them.
That's the thing. I've had good and bad times with all of them. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone's put, what was Joel's best memory of the Motocross the Nations that still sticks in your mind today?
Yeah, easy 95.
Yeah.
Often the first one is the nicest one, but especially there because I was coming out of winning my first world title of my career in 95, and then in I think 2-3 weeks later we had to travel to Slovakia, Eastern Europe, and it was my first selection for the team. And Belgium, we're talking 95, and Belgium hadn't won anymore since 79, I think. So that was a long time they hadn't been winning anymore. And that was Stefan in 125, Marnik on the 250, and myself in the 500 class. And taking the win for Belgium, I've already been saying like how proud I was to defend my country and to give it my best, even sometimes more for my country than individually. And I really liked that team spirit. Actually, it always comes together a little bit. What I mentioned with also being in Tom's case, being the family, also part of the team. A chain is only as strong as the weakest link, and that's the case with Tom. You need to create an atmosphere where everybody, how should I say, where the sum of the individual, no, where the power of the team is more strong than the sum of every individual. I really like that idea, and even if we are individually on our bike, but I like the idea of the nations to motivate each other and to create that atmosphere. Like, hey, we win or die, but there's no way in between. And that mentality, I really like that, and we had a really nice time, and we walked away with a win, and we had another legendary party there.
I'm sure you did.
Crazy.
Very good togetherness, sort of very cool. Right, Jason Peters put, ask Joel about his BMX track. It's a good setup. My boy raced the European BMX Championship there.
Yeah, that's another accomplishment I'm pretty proud of, actually.
Oh, that's very cool. That's really nice.
It's again, of course, volunteers work, but since I've been racing BMX myself for many years before I started racing motocross, I had a strong link already with the sport. For sure, my technique on my motocross bike, how should I say, I adopted a lot of my technique from BMX. I learned a lot from BMX. That's 100% sure. Cornering, even the body position on the bicycle bike. I learned a lot. So when actually around end of the 90s, we had a motocross track also in my village, where I actually learned to ride, let's say. But we were losing, unfortunately, one of the many motocross tracks we were losing those days. But at the same time, we had a chance. The village was developing a property for sports infrastructure. And with an old friend who had also been involved with BMX, we said like, hey, what about talking to the village and trying to get a BMX track in their drawing of the new development, let's say. And yeah, long story short, we managed to after 3 years of negotiating and discussing, we managed to reserve a part for the track. So yeah, and then the village named it after me. So that's also something. It's not a
Very
big thing,
nice.
but it's just something I'm proud of because I
Very
worked
proud,
hard for it, and I'm happy to see the kids stay away from the computer a little bit and
yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
and race BMX. And yeah, we have a really strong club. Again, same thing. We have a good team as the board of the club, and yeah, we've grown as a club and the track, and we've made it. We pimped it again like 2 years ago. We made it conform the new European rules, and we were supposed to organize for our. We actually founded the club in 2000, and we were celebrating our 20th anniversary but unfortunately, because of the same reason that a lot of events have been cancelled, we had to cancel our. We were organizing in the 12th of July. We were supposed to organize the European finals, European Championships finals.
Wow.
So that would have been a really great event to celebrate our 20th anniversary of the club. But yeah, well, it's postponed now to 2022 actually. But yeah, that's the way it is. But yeah, the track's nice.
That's very cool. That's
I
very
love it. I it's still part of our training.
Is it?
Yeah. I do take all my motocross riders to the BMX
Wow.
track on a weekly or 2 weekly basis. Of course, we don't always have the time to do it, but on a regular basis, don't worry. I've been like even from back in the days, from in the beginning of the 2000s, when we first had the track. I went there with Coppins, Townley, Rattray, Leok,
Wow.
Kevin Stribels, Ken de Dijker. They've all been there, don't worry. So
do you all race?
We do. We of course we do our own races. You have to be a little bit careful because when these guys are behind the gate,
No.
A BMX bike is not. It's not a motocross bike, but it hurts anyway. Yeah, when you crash. So I have to calm them down sometimes. That's clear.
Because didn't Jeremy McGrath do BMX as well? Didn't he before?
Also, he's pretty good on a BMX as well. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes.
Anthony Skerry asked, "Hi Joel, what was your full-time job then?" So I'm presuming that was the question when you said you had a full-time job at the time as well. What? He's asking what that was. What that was?
Yeah, I did CNC machines.
Okay.
What do you call it? Lathe and like not drilling, but how do you call it? Anyway, I made programs for CNC machines. That's what I studied at school, and back in the days it was really easy to find a job with that qualification. So I went when I finished school at 18. I went straight to work, and actually then I worked for 1 year. Then also had to go to the army because that was you were still obliged to go to the army back in the day. So I had to spend 1 year in the army as well, and then back to work to the same place. So yeah, but I also liked that work what I was doing. It was not a physical demanding work because I was mainly also behind the computer a little bit and making the programs, but still, yeah, you had to be there. You had to be there 9 to 5. I couldn't go training. So yeah.
Brian Jorgensen's just come up on here. Look. He's put.
All right.
How's it going, Brian? He's put. I've had some great races with this guy.
So do I. Same feelings. Great days.
Great days. I'd also got Ricky Priest, the British rider, has put, "It's true what they say. You never stop learning. Very good listening."
Yeah. Thank you.
Everyone's making some lovely more comments on here. Joel Smets, the motocross legend until the end of time. Someone has also put, "Love this guy, so much passion." A lot of nice compliments on here. What's this one here?
Oh, that's cool.
Wes Carlisle put about the 95 MX the Nations. Is this where that was the one where Kurt Nickel took Hughes out in the second 250 500 moto? Hughes claimed that he was going to catch and pass you for the USA win. Do you think he could have? And did you think he was cocky in his post-race interview?
He was not only cocky in his post-race interview, but
Yeah.
like most of the Americans, that was something. Okay, I think that attitude made them win also many times. But that's the attitude they're struggling with now, I think. And Ryan Hughes was and still is a nice example of it. It's not about the talking; it's about twisting the throttle. And I remember, and it's true. It's true. Kurt did a very good job to take him down. You know, like it wasn't intended to do. He made a mistake, and
I saw that. Yeah,
by doing so. But but that was probably I'm not very superstitious, as I said at the beginning of the interview. But sometimes I do believe a little bit in karma, because Emig had been fooling with me a little bit, but
I saw that. Yeah,
but I was never too how do you call it, affected by it. You know, like it rather made me stronger, or I had to laugh with it. So and of course, but that's why Ryan Hughes thought, like, I was gonna be easily able to go and chase them and pass them. But that was because Emig was always brake checking me,
I saw that,
and slowing the pace down. But don't worry, I would have loved to race Ryan Hughes with my Husaberg. I would have cut his Kawasaki in pieces for sure.
I'll go with that one. James Payton, another British motocross rider, he's put, what did Joel think of the KAS Honda? Big fan, major legend.
Yeah, I think I answered that question already.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I was impressed.
You did like it. You did like it, yeah.
I was impressed with that bike. And also, I liked Harry. I liked because I haven't heard anything about him anymore since then. At some stage he was sick. Maybe somebody can inform me about that, because I liked the way Harry Ainsworth was running the team. It was pretty good. I liked that, and I was impressed by the bike.
John Nichols has put, let's set up a GoFundMe to get Joel to Western.
Oh man, yeah, I would have loved to, but fuck it, yeah. Is there a 50+ age class, or?
You wouldn't need that anyway.
Woo! Oh my God,
that'd be a long race, wouldn't it?
Oh,
a few hours.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, pure. Okay, at 51, you don't have to believe you're in the same strength as 30 anymore. But okay, I do cycle a little bit and stuff like that, so my overall condition isn't too bad. But it's unbelievable. I nearly never ride a bike anymore, and if I do, it's crazy how those hands and those arms after one lap on a motocross track, it's crazy how much it takes from your body, to ride a dirt bike.
Richard Blakemore's put, Joel, which year was your hardest GP for you? Was it against Travis Parker on the KTM 360? You had some good battles with him, didn't you? I remember that.
Well, I really liked that fight, but that was a tough kid, Travis Parker. I mean, he had earned his stripes already before, and he won the 125 championship. He had won the 250 championship, so he knew how to do it. So he was a tough kid. I loved racing him because he was he was also having those tricks of brake checking and stuff like that. But I liked it because, as said already before, those tricks of trying to intimidate me, it always made me stronger. So they didn't know, but they were actually motivating me and making me stronger. So I was always, the more they did, the more I was laughing. But he was a hard fucker, but he was fair. He was correct. We literally banged bars, elbow to elbow, and had really some good fights, but always correct. So, and that's also something I'm really proud of in my career. That's with all the guys I've raced against. There's
Great
a lot of
rivalries. Great
yeah,
rivalries.
great rivalries, but a lot of respect, and
Yeah.
and still, like, same thing with Shane. Like many fights, but we're coming along very well, and always having good fun when we meet each other, and like, at the end of the day, only good memories. Like, as we said, great rivalries make for a great sport.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to ask you this question. Someone's just brought it up about that you went to BMW at some point, didn't you? And did some sort of was it testing with them and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Did you develop in the bike? Yeah.
Yes, promotion and development. So, yeah, PR commitments, but well, I have to say that was a little bit of a disappointment. Let's say my journey with BMW, because my last year in competition was 2006, and I promised to myself and my family, I said, okay, at least 1 year, I want to take a 1 year holiday and just spend some time at home and fix my backyard and just get up in the morning and have no plan, because for 20 years, my strong point was always to have a good plan, and stick with the plan and make the plan work. And I said, for 1 year, I don't want to have a plan. But then we went in February. We went on holiday to the US. We went to watch some Supercross with my little son, who was already Greg was already 10 or 11 years old, so he wasn't that small anymore. So, and he was really a big fan of Ben Townley, because Ben had been a everyday friend, because Ben was training with us in Europe before he went to the US. He went with us BMXing and stuff, and with Greg. So my son was watching more races of Ben than he did of me, like. And okay, anyway, long story short, we went on a holiday there, and we went to the farm from Ricky, where Ben was training. So we went to watch, hanging out a bit with Ricky and with Ben. And then suddenly I got a phone call from BMW when I was in the US. Yeah, BMW, this and that. I was like, do you see a chance? We have an interesting project. Do you see a chance to come to Munich and to look at it and see? No. So I said, sorry, I'm on a holiday in the US, and can you please call me next week? So yeah, my wife saw like, oh, what was that? I said, yeah, BMW. I said, but BMW. And the only thing I knew about BMW was the big GS, the boxer engine. I said, like, what do they want from me? Okay, went back home, went to Munich, see the bike, and if a company like BMW puts their effort into something, it must be serious.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was my first meeting. I went back a little later, rode the bike, and felt like, oof, there's still quite a bit of work to do. It was not the same thing like what I had 25 years before with the
Husaberg. Yeah, it wasn't the same.
I fell in love. It was a bit the other way around. I said, ooh, there's a lot of...
yeah, this has got work to do.
But they said, like, no, we have all the knowledge, and we will make it work.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, they had a certain concept, and there was some advantages, but there was too many disadvantages, and they called it off before it could take off, let's say. So, but anyway, again, okay, it was a well overthought decision, and I think if you join forces with a company like BMW, even if it doesn't work, I mean, you don't have to regret it. I think, again, I had the chance for 3 years to work with one of the biggest companies in the world, let's say automotive. So good experience.
Adam Pryor's put, has Joel tried Stefan's gin?
Of course I do. Of course I do, but I have to say sorry, Stefan, because for me,
you beer, the beer for Joel.
I'm not I'm not such a big gin fan, but my wife is. So I can support Stefan every now and then.
Hub Gerlins put, please kick Jeffrey in the butt and make him world champion again next year.
Yeah, that's really a Dutch fan.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, we've kicked him in the ass already a few times, but he's not he's not he's not a good student. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He's a bit stubborn,
Mm.
very fast.
Yeah.
But as I said already several times in this interview, it's
Mm.
about having the right people around you, and about making a good plan and trusting the plan and the system. And that has always been a problem for Jeffrey. He never had a clear plan, never knew who he had to trust and who he didn't. So, and that's not helping you forward. So I really hope for him that he can, just like this gentleman. I really hope that he get his act together again, and that he finds the peace in his head to put it together. Yeah.
Adam Winslet, who's involved with the Farley Castle thing and everything, he just put, what do you think of Ryan Hughes's techniques of training? Have you been in the ice tub and all that, and the sauna and all that?
Oh, I'm sorry, guys, but it's on the commercial point of view. It's nice, of course. It's pretty fancy, and but I prefer to stick with the old school. I'm not. I'm not a big fan. I'm a fan of having fun with training. Training should not feel like training. That's my philosophy.
Okay,
With
make
my
it
boys,
fun, like fun, yeah.
yeah, I
Mhm.
try to make. I try to diversify with training as well. That's, for example, also why BMX is part of my training program, because that to the boys doesn't feel, they feel like they're gonna go chilling out, huh? But but at the end after practice they are dead.
Yeah.
They didn't realize that chilling out was so exhausting.
I know, Joel, they obviously had numbers to do with the year, where you finished in the World Championship, stuff like that. But did you actually have a favourite number, and was there a reason for particularly liking a certain number when you raced?
Yeah, I was a fan of number 3. That's still kind of a bit my
One there and there.
my career number, that one.
Yeah, I just spotted that a little bit. That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's and that came because Eric Erik Boers
Hmm.
was living pretty much around the corner,
Yeah.
and I was already a big fan of his brother Sylvain. And then Eric, when he won actually his last when he won his last world title,
Yeah.
he was running that number 3, and that to me, that was actually in 1990. Talking about Namur, I was there, but I didn't qualify, and somehow that was also good, because then I could witness from the spectator ranks. I could witness that race, and none of us knew that Eric was going to announce his retirement that same day.
Yeah.
He was clinching his 5th world title in 1990, after a fight with Torpy, and at the after race press conference, announcing that this was his last race, and that was with the number 3, and that bike with that number 3 still is as a strong souvenir in my
Yeah.
head, and therefore for some reason I've always liked that number 3.
Was he your favourite idol as well?
Yes, yeah. I I didn't really have one favorite rider, because I try to learn from all of them.
Mm.
I mean, if you're at that level of winning championship or winning GPs, means you're doing something good.
Yeah, you got to take something from it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I was really, um, when you only get your first bike at the age of 17 and still win 5 championships, That means that in those first 17 years of your career, um, you had to already learn something before you hopped on a bike. So I was often watching all these guys. So my parents took me to the races and stuff like that. And of course, I didn't do that conscious. It was just like because I liked it so much, because
Yeah.
I had given up the dream of ever becoming a motocross rider. When you're still walking around the track at the age of 15 and 16, and you're still a spectator,
Yeah.
and you don't have a perspective of becoming a racer, then but still, even still, then I was watching them, studying them a little bit, like how they were using the front brake, the rear brake, the clutch, things like that, position on the bike. So yeah, you have to. But that's why I didn't really have a favorite rider, because I really believed that I could learn from all of them.
Did you ever? It's actually quite interesting. Just before I ask the next question, it's quite interesting how detailed and how thorough you are. The way you. It's very interesting. The interview, very interesting.
All right.
Very, very detailed, very passionate about it, but also very thoughtful about what your organization and the way you go into details is very cool. Yeah. Did you have any favorite kit or anything, Joel, over the years? I was just going to show you the shirts I got here.
That's 2002, that one. Yeah. I think
UFO.
because that was one of the last years that we were running the numbers of the final position in the championship. So
Right. Okay.
I finished vice world champion in 2001.
Yeah.
So 2002 I was running the number 2.
And then is that when they allowed people to sort of keep a certain number and stuff like that after
Yeah,
that?
and I
Make a
think
bit of a franchise almost.
it must have started, I think, the year after, because 2003 I was riding my number 3, my favorite number 3. Yeah. So that's when they started with. But I do not. Yeah, that's not such a good memory, because that's when I lost. That's when I lost the championship to Shane.
Oh, so you'd have
I,
to.
I
Oh, no.
so I won the championship in '95. So
Yeah.
the year after, I had to run the number 1, but I lost the championship to Shane. So that gear you can.
How did you get into the wind? How did that come about? The deal with them? And did you have a deal with
Oh,
them? I presume?
yeah, that's an Italian company, and yeah, again, loyalty and stuff. I've stayed with them for many years, um, and I got in touch with them through their, by coincidence, a bit through their Belgian representative.
Yeah.
And he knew me. He had seen me around, and he offered a little help. And I said, yeah, why not? Because otherwise I have to pay my pants and my shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it all started. They offered me a few kits, and they've remained my sponsor for 10 years, I think. Yeah.
Did you have a favorite kit over the years that you really liked, really comfortable, or anything like that?
Actually, I do like a lot. The 95, because of course it's linked with my winning my first championship, but
Yeah, I get that.
I
Yeah.
actually also do like quite a bit the 92 on the blue Honda,
All
because
right.
for people, I can see that I think there's not a lot of young kids watching or listening to this interview. A lot of people amongst you will remember the name of Technocell, because
Yes.
Technocell in the 90s was the biggest supplier of seats and seat covers and sticker
Yeah.
kits. Okay,
Remember
now
them? Yeah.
there is plenty of companies, but they had kind of a monopoly. I think I didn't know about another company back in the days, end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, that was making those thick sticker kits. And at some stage, I had a little support from them with seats and stickers, and then at some stage, at the end of '91, they decided to also try and make riding gear, and I rode with their gear. I think I was actually the only rider I think they had. So I rode with Technocell gear
Oh, right. Is that when you was running the 17? Is that when you were like running that number 17?
Yeah. Maybe
So
if
that
you
was
can
that.
find that picture. Yeah, this one. This,
Okay.
this is not a nice look of the gear, but it had
No.
some kind of Indian style. You had another. Yeah, look. Yeah, gee, that's yeah. Anyway, that kit wasn't too bad. It had some. It was techno-cell and it had some Indian graphics type of style. Yeah, and then the 2003 you had the 2003. Then I was with UFO on the KTM. That one I also liked a lot.
Nice. Did you actually have any superstitions, Joe, in your racing career? Did you?
No,
That,
not.
no.
I would, yeah, I would put my right boot first and
All right.
my right glove first.
Okay. So you stuck to
So
that all through.
yeah, but that's enough. I
You
did,
keep going.
I didn't want to wear the same underpants for all.
Oh yeah.
for all
Yeah,
those-
I've seen some of them ones. Yeah. I don't know what Ben's on about here. Ben Rumble's put, I wonder, did Yarrard Smith ever call him the Milky Bar Kid to his face?
Yes, I think he did.
Did
I think he did actually, and
he? Did he?
I didn't know where that Milky Bar
Yeah, yeah.
where that Milky Bar kid came from, but apparently that was an ad in the or a TV character or something, or I I think Alex Hodgkinson has once explained me about that Milky Bar kid story, but it was never very clear to me.
Yeah, you were like, what's he going on about? Gareth Evans put a brilliant interview. Joel is a true hero to all of us and speaks so much sense about the sport. There's been a lot of nice comments all the way down, Joel.
Oh, that's good.
David Campbell put another drink, please, and Nancy.
Yeah, I've got only one. Only
Yeah,
one.
another drink, please, Nancy.
My, my tongue's getting dry, you know. Like,
Yeah, I know. You have to make another call. I got
shoot.
yeah, I'll let Dave King. The bike is ready.
Yeah, Shurt is the guy. You, if you look at his Facebook profile,
See,
you
you're
see
on there.
that picture. That's at another local event.
Okay.
And Shurt is a friend of mine, and he is a really Husaberg lover. So he has restored several Husaberg bikes, also a 95 lookalike, let's say. And yeah, and always we've often talked about it. I said, "Shoot, one day we have to go. One day we have to go to Far Lake." And so he's
So, as soon as he's put that alert, Dave King followed straight up behind him saying, "Top man."
of course.
Everyone's trying to get you on the Farley thing.
Yeah, all right.
Right. Did you have any specific big injuries, Joel, during your career that possibly
No.
even how no?
No, and yeah, as I told you before, I've been for 14 seasons from 1990 until 2003 included. I have not missed one single GP.
Wow.
That's yeah, you can't explain to the people anymore.
No.
So that's crazy. And I've made a calculation over the last 8 years. Jeffrey Herlings has missed 42 GPs. In 8 years, he has missed 42 GPs, and in 14 seasons, I haven't missed a single one. So I haven't. No. I've my table is wood, so I'm touching wood. But yeah, I'm pretty fine. I had of course, I had my little injury. Said that's not, but I luckily had no broken shoulders, no broken elbows, no broken hips, no broken ankles, no. Yeah, really, I think I'm probably the only motocross guy that never a broken collarbone. I don't know. So happy, yeah. So again, I'm with both hands. I'm touching wood now because I'm still doing a bit of crazy things every now and then. So I hope.
Yeah.
But no, that's but yeah, that's also something what I try to explain to for example to Jeffrey or to some other kids. I do not believe that that's just coincidence. If you or that is not just good luck. You can stay 2, 3, 4, 5 years without an injury, and calling it, well, I've been lucky for 5 years, but the 6th year I broke my balls. But you cannot stay unhurt for 14 seasons just by good luck. And
No,
you know that
definitely not. No.
there is something behind, and I do believe it has to do with the correct plan, with making a good plan, a good training plan, sticking with the plan, being confident.
Mm.
That definitely helps a lot. And for sure, I do admit that every now and then I've made my crashes, for sure. But and every now and then you need a little bit of good luck, but also you need to go and hunt your good luck. It's not
Yeah,
they're not
for sure.
they're not they're not bringing it.
No, definitely not. You
So
earn
yeah.
it. You earn it. I think you earn it. David Campbell put, Joel, would you say that Lirop was the toughest sand track to ride, or was there tougher ones out there? Always a good talking point.
Yeah, lead up is tough. Lead up
Mm,
is probably one of the tougher ones. I think Lommel, for some reason, and I even have a bit of a hard time to explain why. But Lommel probably is still the tougher one. But Lierop comes close. Lierop comes close. Is really, yeah, really soft sand. But what makes, for example, Lierop a bit more easy than Lommel is that in Lierop, actually in the forest,
mhm,
it was quite straight lines. It
mm,
was quite straight lines and 90-degree corners,
mm,
So okay, that's still physically demanding, but a track like Lommel, for example, is always like flowing,
mm.
and so yeah, that makes it more technical, and that makes it physically also more tough. Yeah.
Interesting question. Richard Blakemore has asked, Joel, who was the hardest rider to pass?
Um, yeah,
Other than
Trump.
Murph Swerve.
Oh, Mervyn Swerve. I don't have, let's say, memories about having trouble to pass Mervyn. But and yeah, and with all respect also, but usually I was a bit faster, you
Yeah,
know, and the most difficult passes are uh, when you're on exactly the same lap times.
yeah, yeah.
Then passes become more difficult.
Fine
Uh,
lines.
yeah, then you need to really study the guy in front of you, and then trying to find the right spot. So, and that's why, for example, yeah, pretty much all my main rivals, like the King brothers, like Shane and Daryl,
Mm,
like Cornick, Stefan, of course. Pichon was really really hard to pass, but that's all because we were often on the same speed.
mm.
Um, and but Trampus, I have nice memories, and if you're behind the rider for quite some laps, and then finally can make the pass stick. Wow,
Mm. That's
that's
nice.
that's the best feeling, eh? That's the
Yeah.
best feeling ever.
We used to watch in Europe, they used to have the Motorvision guys, the Chamberlain brothers used to come and do
Yeah,
all
of
the
course.
video. And I used to have all them VHS tapes and watching you in Parker growing up as a youngster racing motocross. They were unbelievable. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that
fo-
was great.
watch them every night. It was amazing. Really
Yeah.
cool. Simon White's put, is it Javier Garcia Vico has always puts videos up of you two battling. Did you see him as a real threat?
To be honest,
No.
he was a good rider,
Yeah.
but he was definitely a good rider,
Yeah, he's a good
and,
rider.
and,
Yeah.
and maybe technically,
Mm,
uh, probably on the same level or even better than me. But as a whole package, again, what I say, with organization wise, with a good plan, and the whole package with the consistency and stuff like that. No, yeah, I didn't really see him as a real threat. But of course, it was a matter of same thing. If you want to win championships, you have to limit the mistakes, because yeah, then he was there, of course.
Ben Piggins put, have you had any regrets from your racing career? There can't be too many being 5 times world champion.
No, I think I mentioned it already a few times. I have
Yeah.
no regrets. You can, of course, say like, "Oh shit, '99, your bike always stole. You could have won that one." Yeah, but on the other hand, I could have maybe lost others, which I've won. So I think, um, started having started racing at the age of 17, and then still putting out a career like I did, then I wouldn't be happy with myself if I wouldn't be happy if I would have if I would be talking about regrets and stuff like that. As said, okay, I could have 2003 at the end of my career. That's the biggest mistake I've made. I think not just because the choice, but I wasn't realistic there in my approach anymore. I wanted to When I went to Suzuki, I wanted to push too hard because I knew at the age of 34 you don't have 5 years anymore. You have to be realistic at top level. So I had a complete new bike, and that bike wasn't on point yet, and they knew that, and they also didn't want me to win. But I didn't accept that. I said, yeah, yeah, I understand that you don't want me to win, but I want to win. Depends, it's not depending on you, it's depending on me. I want to win. But
Yeah.
they knew the bike wasn't ready, and I also knew that the bike actually wasn't ready to win, but I didn't accept it, and I wanted to win anyway. And then you hurt yourself. That's and that I regret, because my whole career was built on really realistic goal setting, making a good plan and having realistic goals, analyzing situations and taking the right decisions at the right moment. That was my strength, because with a bit lack of experience, let's say, coming into the sport late, I had to make the right decisions at the right moment, and there I made the wrong decision, and that has, yeah, that has cost me. That has cost me some GP wins, and maybe eventually probably a championship. But okay, if I look, I prefer to look, as you say, I prefer to look back on my complete career, and then yeah, I prefer to say I have no regrets.
Brian Jorgensen's come back on. He's put, he didn't like Brian Jorgensen at first when I came to the MX1 GP class, but after I beat him, he started to respect me and we became good friends.
Oh yeah, it can be. That's yeah, that's clear. Like sometimes that was the case. Um, Back in the days when we had still the 250 and the 500 class,
Yeah.
um, for some reason, those 250 guys kind of looked down a bit on the big class. And I remember one Dutch guy, Edwin Everson, at some stage saying like, yeah, later on when I have a beer belly, then I'm gonna race 500cc bikes. But I
That
haven't.
didn't go down well. That didn't go down well.
That didn't go, talking about being cocky, and yeah, then that didn't go down. No, but he didn't make it. I think he scored one or two podiums in a 250 GP. And if you think you have to talk like that, yeah, then you're not doing the right thing. So and yeah, that I I I kept on beating all those 250 guys in all those international races. Like, so I said, "What the fuck are you guys talking about? Uh, Looking down on the 500cc class. That's not the right thing to do. Otherwise, you have to come and beat me." Well, and Brian did. So that was good. Yeah, then you. That's true. That's the nice way. That's the
You
that's the
sort of
correct.
earned your respect and that, and then yeah.
That's a good way to earn respect. But it's
Yeah.
not. I've always also respected a lot all my opponents. No matter when he was whether he was beating me or when he was 40th position. I mean, the sport cannot only live from champions. You need to have not only quality but also quantity. That makes the sport live. And so I have always respect all the guys that would line up, and even the guys that would not qualify. Hey, at least they tried. I mean, the only time you fail is when you give up trying. Yeah?
Yeah. Do you know what this is about, Joe?
Dirk. Yeah, yeah. That's nobody will understand that, Dirk, the antique Annie story, but yeah, very, very. I can make it very short. I was like, yeah, as said, I didn't have any budget. I had a full-time job, and then at some stage, I wanted to do. I would quit my job and invest more time in my sport, more training and everything, and then I found a small little sponsor with an antique. Is that an English word actually, like old furniture and stuff like
Yes,
that?
antiques. Yeah, antiques. Yeah, yeah,
Antiques.
antiques. Yeah.
There was a small antique shop, and
Oh, was
and
it?
yeah, and his shop was called Antiques Annie. Annie was the name of the wife of the owner. So
Wow.
and in return, I don't remember how much he paid me. Probably not so much, but
No.
but I had an old Mercedes 508. You know, that old Mercedes van, 20 years old van. And he had. I said, yeah. What do you want? How do you want me to advertise on my racing shirt or whatever? Oh, no. I can put some advertising on your van. I said, yeah, you can take care. And then he had in big letters, massive letters on the side of my van. He had painted Antiques Annie. So that was the story.
That's
Everybody who
brilliant.
has seen that van remembers that
Yeah.
van.
Yeah. That's a brilliant story. Paul Golding's put, think when
Oh,
Joe is finished at KTM, he has a big future in the TV chat host. Great interview. Cheers, MX1 drinking team.
cheers, Paul. Hope to see you. Hope to see the public is allowed soon again, so we can have a beer together again.
Yeah, definitely. And he's put, Ian's put, I'd listen to him over Jonathan Ross all day long.
I don't know Jonathan Ross. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Or
Yeah, he's a big host in the UK, famous one. So that's a good compliment.
oh, sounds good. Thank you.
Oh, this is interesting. This would be an interesting one. Who's the most talented? Reese Walker's put, who's the most talented rider at KTM at the moment?
Prado.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very technically,
Yes.
very.
Yeah. If you talk about talented rider, you mean
Yeah,
technical skills. I
yeah.
think also physically he has quite some potential, but don't forget that the kid still needs to turn 20.
Mm.
He's gonna turn 20 the 5th of January now. So physically, in the next 5 years, he's gonna become a man. Okay, he has a girlfriend that's almost 15 years older, so that will help maybe to become a man. There he can maybe ask advice from Noisy
Yeah,
how to handle that. But
yeah.
no,
Imagine.
no, technically, riding, I've seen Jorge doing things that none of the other riders at the moment in the championship does. Bike control, he has the way he makes the bike work is almost mind blowing. It's crazy. Timing also with jumps, but just the way he absorbs the track,
Mm.
the way he makes the bike flow is is a pleasure to watch. Every lap he does, even on practice, I like to watch him because it's yeah, that's almost motocross as at its perfection.
Yeah, like art, a bit of an
Yeah.
artistry. What is there any other sports you like watching, Joel, or even doing?
There is actually no sports that I don't like watching.
Okay.
No, sorry,
Oh,
I don't like watching cricket.
no, it's a bit boring. Yeah.
still don't have a clue how it works. And I've once asked Kurt to try to explain me, but after 2 days I said, gave up. Please stop, because then we were watching a game or something, and after 2 days the game wasn't finished. I said, yeah, but Kurt, I'm not interested in games that take 2 days, because I don't have the time to play two. But all other sports, even very British sports like
Yeah.
snooker and darts and stuff,
Yeah.
I like them all. But I like, just name it, and I'll watch the winter sports. I'll watch all the summer sports. I like the sport is emotion, and I just love that. People fighting for wins. That's nice in whichever sport.
Who were your closest friends around the paddock over the years, then, Joel, in the racing days? Was your like riders? Were you any quite close to some of the riders, or not?
Yeah, I'm I'm still really close with my former teammate Chris Jacobs.
Oh yeah.
I think I saw him actually. I think he's a member of the group. Maybe he's even listening.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
I don't know. No, but yeah, Chris was my first teammate actually in at Husseberg in '95, and also Chris was a former BMX rider. At the moment, Chris is also a member of our board at the BMX club
Oh, there, yeah.
in Dessel.
That's
And
cool.
actually, Chris has been European champion BMX, and he's at the moment our national coach BMX. So yeah, and we're still seeing each other on a very regular basis, not living too far. So I think, and together with him, okay, it's not a coincidence that he's Belgian and that he's living. Actually, he's born in the same village as I do in Dessel. And then another teammate from my Husseberg days was unfortunately the late Dirk Geukens, who died this summer. He's also living not that far. So I think the both of them were pretty much, again, probably because they were Belgian, Flemish, talking same language. Yeah, we were having great times at the track.
If I had to put you on the spot and said, who would you consider as the three best riders to be that you ever competed against in your career, who would you say that was?
I've been in the very lucky case to have raced against Jean-Michel Bayle.
He was amazing.
Yeah. Jean-Michel Bayle.
Mm-hmm.
Jean-Michel Bayle and Ricky Carmichael. Luckily, had the chance to race a bit with Ricky as well, and Stefan, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect three there. David Campbell's put, Joel, do you miss the days of the 80 riders at GPs and the unknown riders making an impact like Leoc did at the Le Mans in 500 GP?
Yes, of course I do. I do miss those full gates. If you look nowadays at the second half of the season, and you see motocross GP starts with 20 or 22 riders, that hurts my heart.
Yeah,
that's clear.
Yeah, I don't like that. Someone's Joel, I hope you're a fan of Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
Do you follow any of the British?
Of course. Yeah. What do you think about KDV? KDV, the king of Manchester City. I know all of them, man. I know. And Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk is Dutch. He's
yeah,
okay.
Dutch, yeah.
We're more into the Belgians, of course.
Mm-hmm. Got some very good Belgian players, huh?
Yeah, very good. So we have Toby Alderweireld in Tottenham.
Spurs, yeah.
Yeah, Tottenham, and then Thibaut Courtois. He's now the goalkeeper of Real Madrid, but he was quite some years in England. We have Jan Vertongen. He's now playing in Porto or Lisbon in Portugal. No, I follow. Yeah, I follow a lot of soccer. And okay, Arsenal, I do like Arsenal as well, but it's not same like with motocross riders. I like the sport. I like the emotion that brings the sport, and I like people on the pitch fighting for it. You know that
Yeah,
I just
passion,
love it.
passion.
And no matter whether it's Arsenal or Man City or Liverpool or whatever, or Blackburn Rovers or and like in sport, you like just what David Campbell mentioned with like the unknown coming from Avoleok, but you guys got that with Leicester City, no, a few years ago,
Yeah,
winning
yeah,
with Jamie Vardy.
amazing. Yeah,
I get goosebumps like watching it at home, like a club like that can achieve that when they with little budget. But why? The interesting part for me is like how is that possible? How do they do that? They have half of the budget, or even only 20% of the budget of those rich fuckers from Man City and stuff like that.
I know,
But
yeah.
they still beat them fair and square. But that's because they at that year they managed to make a good plan and to make the plan work. And then you have to be lucky sometimes to have the right players at the right field, and like to create the perfect atmosphere in the dressing room and stuff like that. But I just love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Manchester United fan.
Yeah, but nothing wrong, eh?
No, no.
Since Sir Alex left the
Yeah,
since
we've been.
Sir left the building, it's a bit down the road.
Well,
But
it has been, yeah.
I
I
actually,
also,
we in Belgium, actually darts is getting more popular because we have, and I can't fucking think about his name at the moment. Dimitri van den Berg. Dimitri van den Berg is one of the leading players nowadays, and he's from Antwerp. He's a pretty young Belgian player, and
Mhm.
yeah, he was playing. He was winning some majors or something. He's doing really good in darts, and darts until a few years ago was something. Yeah, we would only play darts when we were getting drunk, like.
Yeah.
But nowadays we start also respecting that sport, since we have a kid playing on world level there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to think. Was there another Belgian one that was? He was quite passionate when he got his double out or something. I can't. Trying to think of what his name was. He was really like in the World Championships. What's his name?
It's true, we had another one,
Yeah.
but Dimitri Vandenberg is his nickname is Dancing Dimi, because when he wins a game, he puts up some dance moves or something, and the crowd always loves. But there's another, we have, that's true. Before Dimitri Vandenberg, we had another good kid, but I don't remember his name.
Ah, that's it. Someone's put it on the thing. Kim Huybrechts, is it?
Kim Huybrechts, exactly.
That's
Kim.
it. That's it. He's like proper passionate, really. He used to wind the other players up real bad. He was great to watch, wasn't he?
No, sport is nice. Sport unites people. Sport brings people together. Okay, unfortunately, not nowadays. Those fucking Corona thing, but
Oh, it's driving me mad.
no, it's nice. There is really a nice aspect in most of the sports.
Someone's just brought up as well. That was quite a cool one. Was Sami Hyypiä, the
Oh,
Finland player, was in
yeah.
Liverpool. He got into the bikes as well, didn't he? In the teams and that, didn't he? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then, hey, Sammy. Then I'm a fan of Liverpool. When you were listening, then I'm a fan of Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly that. He's a big guy as well, big, strong centre half guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not too bad on a bike. Eh? He's riding the Ice One bikes. Sammy.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
David Campbell said, "Joel, you're cracking me up. I think you need to come to Farley for the Saturday night party."
I'll tell you, the party will be on fire. Don't worry.
Yeah, for sure. Was there any riders that you didn't actually enjoy racing against, Joel? Any
Oh,
guys you sort of seem to come together on the track with all the time, or someone you didn't enjoy racing with? Was there anyone like that?
Oh, probably Ryan Hughes.
Yeah. Is that more the attitude thing than the?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, of course. No, I'm coming. Yeah, as already said before, I'm coming along with all of them. I'm trying to respect them. I've always tried to really respect all my opponents. Of course, when the helmet's on, it's really hard against each other. But off the track, I've always shown respect to all of them, and somehow I've always felt respected as well by my opponents. So that's also pretty nice and pretty cool, I think. Actually, a friend of mine just sends like, "Oh, Joel, I wish I could keep on listening, but I have to get up 4:30 in the morning." So I
Exactly. Everyone's been loving it. Everyone's still I've got loads of messages on my phone that I'm trying to ignore at the same time. You had what was I going to say about that? What's happening with all the tracks in Belgium? Then there's a bit of a. Is there not many tracks now?
No. We have exactly 4 that have a license to, how do you call it, like to run it.
Yeah.
Yep. No. That's that's a sad story. That also comes. That also comes with the fact that Belgium is a small country, and it's quite full built. We back in the days when after the Second World War, let's say when Europe started economically and industrial started developing again, we missed the boat, and I don't mean on the motocross side, but actually on the property development side. And I think everybody who has been in Belgium or in Europe, or everybody who has been out of England on the mainland, will understand immediately what I'm saying. If you drive to Belgium from north to south or from west to east, it's like driving to one big city or one big village, because you're never out of houses. You're always in between the houses. And that's our problem. Our properties are way too much spread out through the country. While if you compare with France or with Holland, okay, France is a bigger country, but that's not the excuse. If you compare with France, but also for Holland, because Holland is also not a big country, but in Holland, they still have 80 tracks, practice tracks. But that's because their how do you call it, urbanization, like the way they developed their villages and their cities, they centralized everything more. So their houses are still centralized around the center of the village of the city, which made that they kept way more open spaces where there is still chances to have a track. And yeah, you can see that easily in Holland. You can drive out of a village, you will end up in an open space, and you will end up in the next village. While if you are in Belgium, you really don't know when you're out of the village, because there are houses everywhere. Yeah, but that's a bit the problem, and that has grown wrong from the 50s, unfortunately.
They have a lot of problems like that with the speedway tracks in the UK. Houses literally going like into the pits area and almost.
Yeah, that's
it's a no-go.
Yeah, no, that's a no-go.
Right, I'll ask you one more before you go. You need to go and get a drink, Joel.
Yeah.
You did a 6 days international enduro event, didn't you, with Belgium?
Yes.
And you won a gold medal as well, wasn't it?
Yes. I did three.
How was that? And did you enjoy all that? You did three.
I did
Did
3
you?
6 because I loved riding dirt bikes, as I said, and I didn't have the chance to ride them until I was 17. So I had to catch up somewhere.
Yeah.
I explained you already that I was catching up on riding time on Saturday's practice from the first minute, and also that enduro riding, like jumping on your bike in the morning and riding until the evening.
Loved it.
I just loved it. That was and especially the 6 days I did was okay. The first one was in Assen in 93.
Okay.
93, I did Assen,
Mhm.
but it was a completely soaked 6 days, so I wasn't enjoying it too much.
Mm.
Because yeah, struggling with filters and water in the engine and stuff. But okay, still managed to finish it. Still managed to win the closing motocross test on the closing day.
Yeah.
But okay, that wasn't too much fun just because of the weather. But then I did Australia in Traralgon in '98, and I did Taupo in 2006 in New Zealand. But that's just heaven on earth to ride your dirt bike around places like that. The scenery you get to see is, yeah. I
Really
used to
cool.
work already a few times, but I'm happy with my career. So there was quite a few things that were mind blowing. But the 6 days as well in Taupo as in Traralgon are really really very very nice souvenirs. I because I didn't go there to prove something, or to win. My only goal to go there was to enjoy riding my dirt bike, because during the year, when you're behind the gate,
Mm.
I couldn't go and stand behind the gate and say like, "Wow, I'm just gonna enjoy it." No, when the gate dropped, I had to win. But with enduro, it was a bit different. Okay, you had special stages, and of course the special tests, and of course I was trying to go as fast as I could on the special stages.
Yeah.
But the fun, the fun did not come with winning or not. It was not my discipline, so I could deal with losing a special stage to an enduro specialist or whatever. Didn't matter. I would have still on the evening, I would be fucked coming back to the hotel, but I would have. I loved it. I loved it. I had been doing what I have what I had dreamt of my whole
Yeah.
life. To
Amazing.
is riding dirt bikes in those amazing, breathtaking sceneries. Yeah, nothing better than that.
Wow. Over 3 hours with a legend like you has been an absolute privilege, Joel. Absolute privilege. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Well, I enjoyed it too. It's pretty cool to catch up, and especially after a year like this. Um,
Yes.
we haven't had the chance to see the fans too often,
Yeah.
and we were always there locked up in our own bubble and stuff,
Yeah.
and like seeing popping up the names of those guys and like
Yes.
Paul
I know.
Golding. You're
Really
drinking.
cool.
Yeah, you only, when you don't get to see them, then you know what you miss, and that's
I
clear.
think that's why everyone's really, really been enjoying these, so we can do this and stuff. It's been really cool.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
guys. All right.
Really appreciate it, Joel. Much appreciated, mate.
Yeah, I would say someday hope to see you guys in Farley. Yeah.
Yes. 100%, 100%, mate.
All
Thanks ever
right.
so much, Joel. Really appreciate it. I'll send you the link with the recording of it tomorrow.
Perfect.
I really
Okay.
appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Absolute
Bye.
legend. Thanks, mate. Cheers. What a legend. Awesome. What a legend that man is, eh? The grin's back. Oh, loving life. Absolutely unbelievable. Speaking to Joel Smets for over 3 hours. Wow. Oh, wow, has my life changed. Unbelievable. I'm so honoured to be able to speak to these guys. Literally, you won't believe. Phil Mercer, top guy. Great rider, Phil Mercer. Another great show, Lee. Thank you for sharing, Joel, Des West. And thanks, Des. You'll have to get this thing sorted out so I can see your name on it next time. Just got to click the link before you come in. What a class interview this was. He's a legend, absolute legend. Miriam Davis, top man, Lee. Joel, brilliant interview. Both stay safe until next time. Thanks, mate. And I did see your messages, Rich. Obviously, I was too busy engrossed with Joel, but I did see your messages about the DVDs and tapes. Yeah, that'd be really cool, mate. That'd be amazing. Philip Johnson, great interview, very interesting. Yes, the insight that Joel gave us in, even about hurlings and stuff, was really interesting, wasn't it? Very interesting. And the detail that Joel goes into and the methodical, like, planning, organization, amazing. Love that. I was like that with lines. And when I say lines, I mean track lines, yeah? Ian, Lee and Joel, thank you very both much. No need to thank me, mate. Absolute legend. He was, what a guy, amazing man, totally, yeah. Thank you. Absolute legend. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, he was amazing, mate. Really, really enjoyed that. The time just flies by. More, Lee. Don't you get me shot, Ian, with the missus. Here she is, look. Maybe you could interview me and then I might get to see you. I told you you'll get me shot. Stuart Patstone, great job, Lee. Loved it. Thanks ever so much, Stuart. Another great one, Lee, and what a great guy. Gary, yeah, he's amazing, mate. Greg, good job, Lee. Andy, Stefan, these interviews are top class work, Lee. Appreciate that, mate. Thanks very much. I'm just literally just a fan. Speaking to idols and heroes, I still can't even get over speaking to these guys, man. I'll go into the other room in a minute to see the missus and do that. Better get some tea now. But I'll literally go in there going, wow. Unbelievable. Simon White, I need another hour. Ben Rumrold, absolutely awesome chat. Thanks, Ben. Scott Joyner, how's it going, mate? Quality that. Martin, thanks for the interview, hero. Thank you, absolute legend, amazing man. For sure, people. Thanks ever so much for everyone coming in tonight. Really appreciate everyone's time coming in. I'm sure you enjoyed what an amazing 3 hours that flew by. I was looking, thinking, oh, that's an hour. And then I was thinking, shit, that's like 2.5 hours. And then I looked and I thought, oh, I'd love to get over 3 with Joel. Awesome job, mate. Thank you, Stuart. David, great to have you back on, David. Enjoy your banter. And another great rider, David Campbell. Down to earth guy, never changed after all these years. Good job, Lee. Thanks, mate. Yeah. He's what a man he is. Like the insight he gave us tonight as well was very interesting about got pulled into the hurlings thing and but like you said, the methodical details he was talking about, I really enjoyed. Never give up, Lee. I don't plan to, Richard. If I can get away with it, I will keep interviewing these stars. And then, got to interview all levels would be cool. But it is pretty special to speak to some of these guys. It's amazing. Still can't get over it, to be honest, mate. Still don't know what's going on. Literally don't. Hi, Lee. I'll sort and bring them to Swindon and meet you. Yeah, no problem. Paul Maynard, another good one, Lee, legend. Thanks ever so much, you lot. Appreciate that. Duncan, really enjoyed that. Clever man, yeah, very switched on, very passionate about the sport. I felt that passion just through the screen and interviewing him. That's how I feel about doing this with you guys. Passionate. Coming from the love. Can't believe this has just started from March doing this stuff in the last lockdown, and it's just amazing. Unbelievable. Joel seemed to like it just as much as we all did. Hope so, mate. I really hope so. He seemed to really engage well, and he loves the fans as well. So it's awesome to get all you guys. This is what this is all about. Brilliant thing to get onto this StreamYard, to be able to talk to you guys live at the same time and get your questions to these guys we wouldn't get to speak to on a personal level, and they seem to be all very open and enjoy it themselves, which blows my mind when they come to me and say that they really enjoyed it. Wow, I'll never get sick of that. Franco Rossi, someone's put. I remember him on the 500 Honda, wasn't it? What about Eric Egan's interview? Is he Dutch or Belgium? Is he Dutch? He's really cool on the sand when he sort of won some random GPs. I remember. Mick Nurse, you're a lucky man with these superstars of MX. Yes, mate. Many months though of chasing. Can you imagine at the start when I'm just like, hi, can I have an interview? Could I do an interview possibly? It was, oh, mate, the hours I put in of slipping into people's DMs for hours and hours till like the early hours until I passed out. You wouldn't believe. But it's definitely It's a privilege to be able to get to speak to these guys for sure. That hurling stuff was top quality. Yeah, mate, really cool. Wayne Davis, great interview. Lee, how you doing, Wayne? Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate that. Oh, someone's put Max Anstey up for an interview. Funny you should say that. Don't worry, people. I'm all over this. I'm all over this like a rash. Don't worry about that. Before I mention that, tomorrow night I've got a legend of British Speedway in the 70s, 80s and 90s, Mr. Chris Morton, Bellevue legend as well. He's on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Unfortunately, got one cancellation. Mr. Paul Cooper, 4 times British champion. I was booked in for Thursday, but he's had to go and do some work somewhere. We know what it's like in these times. You've got to do these things when you can. So we're going to reorganise. Don't worry, I'm definitely still going to do Paul Coops, Mr. Coops, and hopefully get on Neville Bradshaw with him as well. That could be some good banter, because I've still got to get a couple on at once would be a different thing. And I've spoke to everyone, probably seen the Speedway John Davis one that everyone loved. We're going to do sort of a bit of a Christmas special with that one. Hopefully get a couple of famous Speedway riders on with him as well. It'd be quite cool. But going back to this one, I'm not sure who this was. They're not registered on the thing, but Max Anstey. I have spoke to Max Anstey. I can confirm that. And he's seeing his doctor today. Was the last conversation I had of him with the weekend. He's seeing his doctor today to hopefully get the all clear to ride again. So then obviously he wants to go riding straight away, if that's the case. But then he's going to get back to me and he'll know his schedule. But I have spoke to him, and I'm definitely going to be doing one with Max Anstey, so we can catch up with everything that happened with him this year in the American scene, and we can maybe talk to him how that come about, going from Europe back over to America. He is Dutch. Oh right, yeah, he was Dutch, Ben. Okay, cool. So yeah, Max Anstey will be coming on, so that'd be awesome. Have you had any guests that had such a smile on his face the whole way through? What a story he has and a dedication as a major legend, John Nichols. Yes, that was it. Felt like he was enjoying it as much as we were, hopefully. KTM Honda Husqvarna, Franco Rossi. I remember him on the Honda doing some pulling some hole shots and then leading some 500 GPs for a while. Big thanks, Joe and Lee, for this great interview. Thanks, Hub. Thanks for coming in again, buddy. Joel never stops smiling. He loves the sport. Legend. Yes. Let's do it, Lee. You will be better than Jonathan Ross. Oh, you're killing me. Can my mate ride at your meeting at Fox Hills? I ain't confirmed anything yet. All that hard work is paying off. Andy Hobbs told me. Yes, I am. Andy's been very kind. He said some nice word. I really appreciate that, mate. But yeah, I've really tried my best, mate. Put in a zillion hours, that's for sure. Some passion. So getting back into the sport after 17, 18 years of doing the football, which just stressed me out more than anything. Missing, you imagine I'm only an hour away from Farley and I've not even gone and seen one of the Farley donations or anything. Crazy. But that won't happen again. So yeah, being back in the sport since March, just was basically putting a few Q&As together with some old BSMA guys that we obviously want to do a reunion meeting, which was great fun. I'd done some, sports press in Swindon and stuff like that, with the football, ice hockey and all that sort of thing. So I just want to do some Q&As to entertain people in the lockdown, the first lockdown in March. And it just took off from there. And then I just stalked many a star for months and months and slipping into all sorts of people's DMs, talking to brothers of riders, sisters of riders, mums of riders, anyone to get a contact. So now it's really nice. You got a lot of contacts and people help you and everything, and I've been really enjoying them. So they've been helping me out massively. So thanks anyone that's given me any contacts. You all know who you are. Really appreciate it. I try to thank as many people as I can. Really appreciate it. Wayne Davis put Sebastian Tortelli interviews. Another story about that as well. My man Stefan Everts has got me in touch with Sebastian Tortelli. I've actually got his number and everything. Been WhatsApping him, but yet to get a reply yet. So fingers crossed, Mr. Tortelli will get back to me at some point. Hopefully, that would be really cool, wouldn't it? I'm definitely chasing that one. Sordy, did speak to Sordy quite a bit. I know he's been busy with Conrad, so hopefully I'll be able to get Sordy on. That's been sort of ongoing for about 10 months, hasn't it, Sordy? Since I first ever started. But then I tried to get Conan for ages since when I first started as well. So that was awesome to get him the other week. That was really cool. Just got a zest for life. Such a top bloke. Yeah, he has, Ben. That's for sure. It's definitely giving me one now. Don't forget the bike, the StreamYard King. And here's the man. Here he is, Mr. Adam Winslet, who does involved with the Farley Castle and does some interviews as well. Some great interviews. You can check out his interviews as well. Just some great ones. He's done Ryan Hughes. I think he did Brad Lakey the other day when it had him. That was really cool. Yeah, I appreciate Adam. Give you the thanks now. He put me in touch with this StreamYard system that we're doing now. I was doing the recorded Skype interviews and then just sharing them. And Adam said to me to get involved with this StreamYard. So I really appreciate that, Adam. It's definitely taken it to the next level doing the lives, that's for sure. And it's been great. Let's make your meeting bigger than the Grand Prix GPs. Don't know about that, Richard. Let's go massive at Fox Hill. I'm definitely up for that. Oh, my man, Brian Jorgensen. What a ledge. Now, this man, we had a great connection when we did our interview. He was the first one to sort of show us around a bit more than just the interview with the Skype. He took me around the helmets and everything. What a guy he is. Great man as well. I'm going to be sharing something of his, actually. He sent me a link that I'm going to be sharing. But basically, obviously he knows that I'm doing all these competitions and things and having signed shirts. I've never had anything like that in my life, anything like this that Tom Brown's lent me for the background, which is amazing. Really appreciate that, Tom Brown from Moto Extreme. But yeah, that's the only two things I've got in motocross is my two old helmets. That my old McGrath replica that I put some Troy Lee design stickers on to cover up any scratches. Managed to get a new peak that was broke. A brand new original peak on, look. That's the only two things I got left. That and my last helmet, which was, I got it because I thought it looked like a shoey, that I'd always really wanted a shoey but couldn't afford a shoey helmet. It was an O'Neill one. Even got the the McGrath flashing light with the old shark fin that they had. That was the last one I won. That was the one no, was that the one I wore when I won the BSMA finals? Don't think it was, actually. I had a Sumi helmet. I had one of the... Anyway, Mr. Brian Jorgensen. It's all right having all this memorabilia and stuff that's going in for the competitions, but I've never got anything of my own until I got some them motocross cards that I posted up the other day that I got from Mr. Vaughan Williams himself, the BSMA champ. That was really cool. But Brian said to me that he was going to send me some shirt and pants of his own. So I'd actually have some of my own memorabilia. And he said they are going out on Wednesday. Look, he just put that to me. Really appreciate that, Brian. Yogi. What a guy he is. Top class gentleman he is. What a guy he is. Hopefully get to meet him in person one day, maybe at Farley, or Brian comes over to the UK now and then with his training and stuff and different. Michael Pichon, yeah, that'd be great if I could get hold of him. Anyone got a contact, hook me up. Simon White put Paul Malin. I've done a Skype with Paul Malin and he did an original one. I don't know if anyone remembers when I first ever started out, the guys like Nickel, Malin and stuff, they literally took my questions and did a video answering them. Warren Edwards, loads of guys, loads of great guys. They sort of just said thanks so and then answered my questions. That was really cool when I first started out. But I've done a Skype interview with Mailer. It was a big long one. It was like 4 parts on Skype, I think it was. A good like 40 odd minutes each. So that's still on my YouTube if anyone wants to see that. Gave great insight into the Alec Wright years and Kawasaki and some weird things you wouldn't know about. That was really good. But yeah, a live one with Malin would be good. I think he would flourish in the live interviews. Someone's put Demarie. I did ask Stefan Everts about Yves Demarie, but apparently his English is not too good. So don't know how that would work too well. Smets would be able to get Frederick Vial there. That would be good. Pitbull interview. That would be a really good one. Pete Bearer. Are those Smith shirts up for the raffle in the future, Ben? No. They are Mr. Tom Brown's from Moto Extreme. So no. But I have got 5 other riders' memorabilia that'll be coming up in between bikes, people. Got really cool ones. You've probably seen them in the background in some of the interviews I've been putting up. I've got a Ricky Carmichael signed number 4 Suzuki, Makita Suzuki one, which is really cool. We've got a Tommy Searle 100 signed Kawasaki one. I've got a Roxon shirt from when he was in the GPs, signed. And then 2 other really cool ones as well is a full set of kit from Hurlin's, used bottoms with, I think it says something King, into the Lion's Den on the butt patch, which is really cool. And then the signed shirt for Hurlin's, and then a full set of Chad Reed kit, the kit that he actually wore at Matterley Basin when he rode the GP there. So you got the bottoms with 2-2 on the back and signed on the shirt from Chad Reed. You've probably seen him a couple of times in between things. So I've got 5 other riders' memorabilia to do in between. But that's what I was saying about the Yogi thing, because it's like you get all these amazing memorabilia, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I got these items on me, like the Stefan Everett shirt that we had that just went, and then they go, and I'm like, ooh. So when Jorgensen said he's going to send me some gear of his, I was over the moon, to say the least. Have to have a big beer tent at the Fox Hill race. Yes, I'm well aware of that. I think a reunion BSA would be madness. Got some stuff for your background. JMB, yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? If I could get JMB. David Villemin, sorry, is another cool one. Yeah, so there's loads of things going on, people. Hopefully I'll have some more news about the meeting, update on that type of thing. But I'll let you know. I'm definitely doing as far as I know at the moment, I'm definitely doing the Speedway. Ben Piggins put Trampers Parker would be some good stories. I've messaged their Facebook. I think it's a joint one with his missus, and I've messaged them quite a few times trying to hunt that one down. But if anyone's got a better contact than I've got, would be cool. I'd really like to get Trampers Parker on. I think he'd be a very good interview. JMB, like you said, there's so many guys that I could speak to. And obviously, I'm doing the Speedway ones as well, so that's really cool. So yeah, definitely doing Chris Morton tomorrow night, 7 p.m. UK time, and then I'll have to update you on what's happening after that. Don't forget, people, with the Rob Herring bike, still got going the competition. It's been just over, it was a week yesterday it started. I think we've sold 112 tickets so far, so that's really good. Appreciate everyone that's getting involved. I think I did see a few messages on my phone just a minute ago about tickets, so I will get back to you as soon as I come off of here. But there you go, look. Let's just take that down a minute so you get the full picture. There you go, look. The Rob Herring 1991 Silkaline Honda that Rob's done himself. Was totally restored it all himself. And even got the suspension done how he had it before and put the depth all the way through, the same as he had. Depth system, DP, or what you want to call it. And yeah, he signed the bike as well on the front plate there, look. Which was really cool. There she is. She's beautiful, trust me. She's there, look, in the kitchen. Sorry to Rob for putting him through my photo shoot. But there's him, look, back in the day there, look, on the Silkaline Honda there. I'm not sure where that was, but I'm pretty sure these were at Fox Hill. That one potentially was. That was in Racer. That's definitely at Fox Hill on the first tabletop in the valley. There's another cool one of him on the bike as well. So that's really cool. Very personal, the fact that Rob did it himself and signed the bike now as well is another cool touch. Mike Healy, as it was his birthday the other day. I don't know, Andy, I don't know if you've seen that I did do a live one with Mike, but it was a bit, I was literally using my phone live in the group, filming my laptop. So it's gone a little bit forward since then with the StreamYard, etc. So I have spoken to Mike Healy and we're definitely doing a part 2. So that's really cool. So I will definitely sort out a part 2 with Mike Healy, for sure. Definitely. Massive Fox Hills. Only live one. You only live once. Let's get it on. That is the plan, Richard. We only live once. Let's get it on. Let's get it on like Donkey Kong. But yeah, I'm definitely all over it, and we'll see what happens when I speak to my partner. But fingers crossed, people, I'll be able to maybe lay down like a date, etc. But there you go, look, people. There's the Rob Herring 1991 Silkeline Honda 250 two-stroke. And get at me for tickets for this, and hopefully in the next week or two I should be able to do a live draw for that, which would be an amazing prize for someone just before Christmas. Wow, what would that be? Like, imagine that. The guys, I've had all the thing about I never win anything. When they won the bike with an unlucky number for him on 113, I think it was, and then the McGrath signed shirt, and then obviously the Everett signed shirt. So it was really cool. 3 competitions we've done now, so this is the 4th one. So I appreciate everyone getting involved, trying to bring amazing prizes in for you guys. So I hope you're enjoying that as well. I'll do my best. Smets will want a ticket, number 3. I know that's gone, that's for sure. I think he's probably got enough bikes. Not too worried about that one, I'm for. But yeah, thanks ever so much, people that come on tonight. Really enjoyed it. Anyone that's come on near the end or anything that you've missed it, don't worry, it'll be recorded and it'll be on my YouTube, which I will share the links tomorrow to everyone. Definitely need a Fox Hill to happen. Fingers crossed to be a great end to a season of motocross, hopefully. Yeah, that's the plan, mate. So hopefully I'll be able to update you guys on that. Please get at me for the tickets for the Rob Herring bike. And then I'll update you on any more interviews that I'm sorting out, people. So good night and God bless. I'm off for some tea. And obviously I will leave you with my dad's quote, as I always do, which is a personal touch for myself. He always said, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. So I'm trying to live by that as well. I know it's hard sometimes. There's always someone out there that likes to push buttons and things, as we know, especially with social media these days. You could do your best and put in a zillion hours and try your best, like I do, but there's always someone that'll say something a bit weird and wonderful. There used to be back in the days, I used to bite on any little thing going with my football and stuff. It used to be terrible, in fact. So yeah, trying to keep away from all those sorts of things. Take care, be safe, and family. Thank you so much. Thanks ever so much, people. Good night and God bless, and speak to you soon. Anyone that's interested, got the Speedway one tomorrow night live, 7 p.m. UK time with Chris Morton, proper legend of British Speedway, legend with the famous Bellevue Aces in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Yeah, he was a top rider for sure. So yeah, see you tomorrow night then, people. The people that are going to come on. Hope you enjoyed tonight. Andy Obbs, perfectly timing, just about to go, so I can give you the thanks, buddy. Hope you're good, mate. Wow, over 3 hours with Joel Smets. As you can see, changing my life. Happy as Larry I am. Loving life. Thanks ever so much, people, for the support. And I will... Oh, thanks, mate. I'm proud. You're a top man, mate. I really appreciate some of the kind words you've been saying. I really appreciate it, mate. It means a lot coming from yourself, fellow Swindonian. Got loads of love for the Swindon, through and through, born and bred. Fox Hill country. Reese Walker, well done, but great interviews. Thank you very much. Tommy Reeves, fucking missed it. Just message. I've just found some old shirts. Awesome, mate. Cool, Ben. Tommy, don't worry, mate. I know you would have ideally liked to have watched it live. That's the good thing about these things, that they can be recorded, and I will be putting it up tomorrow. But it was well over 3 hours with the man Joel Smets, and trust me, it's definitely worth watching the whole thing. Really cool insight into everything, especially especially talking about some crazy stuff, really. Some great insight that none of us would have known. Talking about the Hurlins thing, and very interesting insight. He is a bit emotional. Yeah, don't start me because I could get emotional easily after my dad and things like that. And let's not go down that. You're known as Lee Ashby. You're known as Lee Ashby. I'm known as the man with the van. No, you're not just known as the man with the van, Andy. You're known as the gorilla that rides a quad at Weston as well. Especially loved your stories when you told me that you tried to take the actual gorilla suits back to like the costume shops after a Western. Yeah. You imagine taking a gorilla suit back to a shop after you've used it at Western Supermare for a 3 or 4 hour beach race on a quad. Oh, only you could do that. That's brilliant. That's legendary. Oh, it's classic. Right, I will go because I've hopefully get some. I bet it was in pieces. It's 20 to 11. I've got to go and get some tea. Got to be up early in the morning for work. You need to sort football team out, Lee. No, I've done 17 years of being a football manager. I definitely don't need to go back to football, mate. Trust me. Trust me. Fair play, bud. I love what you do. We all do. Thanks ever so much, Tommy. Appreciate that, mate. But yeah, it's lovely being back in the sport. Definitely got a passion and commitment for it. Hopefully I'm showing it and you can see it shining through. Hopefully someone's put croc hard. I've tried with croc hard, so hopefully something will come with that as well. Trust me, I've pretty much asked the whole world to get involved, so hopefully at some point I'll be able to get the whole world at some point. But I'm trying my best. Don't worry about that. I'm properly committed and passionate, and love being around you guys. It's making a massive difference in my life, so thanks very much to everyone, and I will see you all soon. See you tomorrow night if you join me for the Chris Morton. Ciao bella, people. Appreciate it.